Woo! Happy. There you go. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. So good to be here. Feels really good on a Friday. Hanging with my boys, Paulie Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Benjamin.
Morning.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Feeling good. Last Friday of the year for us.
Oh, my God, you're right.
Counting it down here until the final show of 2023 on Wednesday, our Christmas and holiday extravaganza.
We were going over some of the lookbacks this morning, and Paulie brought up a thing we did. Maybe it's old age, maybe it's just a different focus of like one show at a time. I had completely forgotten, that we did a bit in the middle of the summer around the All-Star break that was called Summer Break. Paulie brought it up. I went, oh my God, we did that. We really did. And I completely, it escaped my memory. My wife will tell me lately, I'll go, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. And she'll go, we had this conversation this morning. So I don't know how much longer you guys will be seeing of me. I really don't. I mean, I could be in a home in like 6 months. That's how I feel sometimes.
I pretend that I remember things.
You
but
do.
Now I can't. They just go in and they leave. And spring break, what? That we did that?
Yeah.
We did something like
Summer
that?
break, we called
This
it.
is all news to me.
It's wild. and we're like, oh yeah, I remember. And then I'm like, I really don't remember what we did.
I still want to do at some point on a Thursday, real or fake, guests on the Ben and Woods show.
We did it once, and it's one of my favorite things of all time because, I mean, Paulie will say, I'm like, have we ever had him? He's like, 7 times. We've had him 7 times. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting. Had a, one of those nights last night that, if you're a parent that you do, and you actually look forward to because it's really cute and sweet. It was Taylor, my youngest, the Christmas program at his preschool. And he's so there's 4 different levels. He was in the second one. So the little guys go and girls, they go first. And then Taylor goes up, crushes his performance.
He's a sophomore in preschool.
He's a sophomore in preschool. Yeah, he crushes his performance of Jingle Bells.
Red shirt kindergartner.
Yeah, red shirt kindergartner. He's got like 2 years of eligibility left, I think. But he was doing the ha, throwing his head back, hand on his stomach, really jovial, really into the thing. But something happened to me, and it gave me a look into the future. So after his performance, as most big stars do, he's hyped up. He can't just go sit back down. So he's feeling the adrenaline of a really good show. So he's running down the aisle.
He slayed it,
dude. So I had to go get him, and I was like watching him. Bo was sitting sweetly with his grandparents and my wife, watching the other performances. Taylor's running around like a loon. And so I'm sitting with him in the back pew of the chapel. And little girl walks down the pew towards me. And I know her. And she says to me, she goes, with another girl with her, she goes, you're Bo's dad, aren't you? I go, uh-huh. And she goes, is Bo here? And I go, yeah, he's here. She goes, where is he? I go, he's right over there. And I point. I go, you want to go say hi? She goes, yes. And her other friend, Bo's here? And I go, uh-huh. I walk them over. They go, hi, Bo. And Bo's like, how you doing? Like I'm like, are you 16 years old? She goes like this. She goes, you don't remember me, do you? And he's like, I remember you. Bro, I'm telling you, it was like looking into the future. And then I looked at him and gave him like and he's like, shut up, Dad. I'm like, this kid is going to be a legend. Like, and he just plays it off. He's just as cool as can be. Goes up, they do the alumni performance. So he's alumni because he's in kindergarten now. So he goes up and they
donate back to the program
each year. Yeah, he gives back to the program each year. He works with the younger kids, make them better. Walk up there. They start doing the Macarena mixed with some Christmas song. And he's standing there. He's in all black, like his old man. And he's standing there with his arms crossed, chewing a piece of gum. And I was like, this is like looking into a mirror. It was the weirdest, craziest, like fatherhood realization that I've had. But those 2 little girls, is he here? Can we say hi? Walking up to him, hi, Bo, and he's like, oh, what's up? It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Really, really special, sweet, sweet night. I love those deals, the pageants and the Christmas stuff. they're short. They're about 45 minutes. Get in, get out. I don't want to drag it out longer than that, but it was really, really nice. It was really nice.
Let's see. I had a couple of people asking me about my underwear yesterday.
I'm not surprised. It was a very sticky.
Not that sticky.
It was a very sticky.
Wasn't
Now,
really sticky.
What are you wearing today?
I'd like
wash
to
your
report
underoos?
that yes, we got some laundry done.
Good for
Shelly
you.
actually started it. I finished it when I got home, and
Tag teamed it.
I have clean underwear, fresh pair on this morning. No, we need to worry about me out there. We're
Okay.
good to go. I didn't have to borrow Woods's or anything like that.
So, who asked you about your underwear?
Let's see. So I played golf yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I played golf with my dad, and his actually it was my godfather was listening and asked me about my underwear.
How's your underwear?
Yeah, it's like, did you get some new underwear on? I got the same one I was wearing this morning. Haven't changed it yet.
So mortifying
Yeah.
when you go out
A little
into
bit.
the world.
Yeah, a little bit.
How's your penis, by the way? Is it good? How you good penis?
brother asked me as well when I saw him. Yep. A lot of underwear talk yesterday.
Now remember, I didn't bring that up.
I did.
You brought it up.
I know. If
I
you
would
weren't
feel
with
bad.
If you weren't with us yesterday, I announced that I had to make a decision on underwear yesterday. Either continue to wear the pair from Wednesday, or I could change into the crispy boxers that I don't really like, that kind of bunch up and they're not comfortable because they were my last clean pair.
My question to you, I forgot to ask, was why not just toss them?
The crispy pair. Well, now I realize I can just toss them because if I'm not even willing to wear them,
You don't need them.
I mean, I guess had the pair that I was wearing really felt inappropriately dirty,
Had you soiled them?
Yes, I could have switched to the uncomfortable
Right.
pair, but I felt like I'd rather go with the slightly worn but not really damaged in any way underwear as opposed to the crispy, uncomfortable pair of boxers I didn't really want to wear.
It is.
You got to just get rid of them because otherwise, when you're getting low,
Then you
Yes,
feel like
then you
feel like you
lean
have
on it.
you
You'll
have
be
to-
like,
oh,
crutch.
I've got to do laundry earlier because I don't have any backups. I
It's
gotta
a
go.
crutch. It's just a big crutch. It's like the Chargers for old school media in this town. That's all it is. It's just a crutch.
I've learned that Woods is a high roller when it comes to underwear. You've got
I had to
like
be.
30 backup pairs that you never
do.
even break into, all ready to go.
Sorry.
Whereas I'm a poverty franchise when it comes to underwear.
Yeah.
I've got my 2 weeks worth, and if I don't do laundry, I'm out of luck.
My drawer, it looks like the Dodgers. Essentially, my underwear drawer is equivalent to what the Dodgers.
the Dodgers of
The
underwear
Dodgers
drawers.
of underwear drawers, man. Matt says he wears edible boxer briefs only. That is that's one of those things I'd seen before and said,
I'm good.
Pass.
I'm good. I not a bad bid idea to try one. Really not a bad bid idea. I will look into it today.
What sort of food stuff are they made out of?
I feel like it's like a fruit roll-up.
It's I
Really?
would say it's.
Have
some
you
sort
done
of-
it?
No, I'm guess it's like a gummy thing. I would assume.
gummies.
I think I think it's like panties made out of a fruit roll-up.
It's not some sort of like starch or vegetable-y material.
Tastes like corn.
This is my
Different
kale
flavors.
underwear.
This one tastes like.
What is it? Is it beet? Nah, forget it. I have no interest.
I mean, what happens when people want to eat healthy? Is it full of sugar and calories, or do they want to go with the
You're
diet?
like, I can't eat this. I'm sorry. This is not on my diet at all. Edible underwear. Who's the
Lisa
guy?
in the chat says edible underwear is just expensive fruit roll-ups.
Is that what it is? Fruit roll-ups. Why did I know that?
Fruit roll-ups are very sticky. Usually,
very
they're not comfortable.
The whole the whole beef jerky underwear is something I would pass on. But Dominic, thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Really, any underwear that you eat, I think I'm out. It can taste like pumpkin pie. I'm not eating it. You know what I mean? Like, just forget it. Forget it. Gil says, SDSU football. Any thoughts? Congrats to the Mesa. They've gotten some really good quarterbacks the last couple of days. I'm
Starting there.
I'm petty, but I'm not that petty, right? Like, I can acknowledge the nice work.
Got a freshman coming in
Sean
from
Lewis.
Indiana.
Yep.
3-star quarterback, and then yesterday transfer from
Florida State.
4-star when he went to the Seminoles. Didn't play last year.
I did think this. So you get the kid from Indiana. He's really accomplished player in Indiana football, right? He's like, I'm in. And then the next day they get like, well, he's actually projected to be a little better. The 3-star guy's like, All right. So now maybe there's a quarterback competition. But no, listen, come on, Gil. I am as petty as they come, but I can be the bigger person. So there you go. There's your Aztecs football. I know Ben was bursting at the seams to talk about it. Congratulations to Sean Lewis. He's done a great job so far. You got to, but as we know, in any sport, there's always pitfalls, right? Can you keep these guys more than a year? Will Sean Lewis be here more than 2 years? Do these guys eventually want to play in a Power 5? All of those things come into play. So there you go, Gil. Ask and answer.
I mean, if we're going to bring up football this early, I feel like most of San Diego would want to talk about the most humiliating performance in Chargers franchise history, likely last night on Thursday Night Football.
People were tweeting me saying I'm giddy right now to talk about to hear Ben tap dance all over the grave of Dean Spanos right now, and Brandon Staley and all of the above. My wife has just tweeted a picture of my elite underwear drawer, by the way. So
putting it up on the.
Oh man, yeah, we're a little bit all over the place today, but that's usually how Fridays go. That game was insane. I was at the Christmas performance, as you know. And I came home, I checked Twitter, and I saw people going, oh my God, what is happening? So I flipped on Amazon Prime, and when I flipped it on, it was 49-0. And I went, holy smokes. I watched for about 10 minutes. I did watch Austin Eckler with a pretty tough run, about an 8 to 10-yard run, down 49, get a first down, stand up, and give the defender the first down. And I was like, ha, dude, it's not going good. Paulie and I saw the next guy, 25-yard catch, gets up, spins the ball. I'm like, do you guys know that you're down 49 points right now? Or is that okay? Do you celebrate then when you're down that many points? It was a drubbing. It was a beating. Brandon Staley probably shouldn't see lunch at the facility today.
When they're openly speculating on the broadcast whether or not he's going to make it to the end of the night.
Kirk Herbstreit, yeah, I heard that too.
You're never in good shape. Now, it wasn't the largest loss in Chargers history, but it was the most points they've ever allowed.
What is happening?
It's the most points the Raiders have ever scored. And they did it 4 days after getting, shut out by the Vikings 3-0. The Raiders scored 0 on Sunday.
I'd rather talk about Ben's crusty underwear than Aztecs recruiting and the Chargers. What are we doing right now?
People wanted to hear Ben, Giddy Ben, talk about it.
I think people would like to hear more about the leopard underwear in your drawer.
Yeah, obviously.
Leopard underwear. Wait, I didn't see the picture yet.
Up in the upper left corner.
Obviously, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I work bottom right, up.
Like under the beanie.
I would work under the beanie up. So I really never even get to the second, third, or fourth row. How many pair? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm wearing one now. 19 pair of underwear, and I think there's one in the dirty clothes.
Probably a couple under the beanie there?
Nope. That's it. But she bought me the leopard print
for
underwear.
special occasions.
Yeah, they're edible, actually. You know what they taste like?
Leopard?
Leopard. We've never gotten to them
Real
yet.
bits of leopard.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, man.
I wore them as a bit one time, but yeah, they're there. They are there. So that's.
Why don't we get rolling? Because I want to get to our daily ditties coming up next. But Paulie had a great idea that I'd like to execute. If you listen to our show regularly, you'll sometimes hear at the end of the show when we run out of steam, we start spinning the topic wheel and just having some fun. Woods, at the beginning of the week, brought in tons of new topic wheel questions, and we haven't even gotten to it this week.
Which is crazy.
Thought, you know what? This is a time of year. Nothing's been going on with the Padres. We're getting ready for the holiday and Christmas extravaganza. Instead of waiting until 9:40 to spin the topic wheel today, let's do it in our first hour. So coming up at 6:35.
Tier ones too?
We're going to do Tier 1 topic wheel, and you call in, and we spin the wheel, and it's a random whatever topic that comes up. We all answer the question. We move on. We can get through 3 or 4 of them. So get ready to call in, 833-288-0973. We will get to that at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, it's either that or we talk about the next pieces that the Los Angeles Dodgers have signed. I mean, we'll do that. We'll give you the mention and what we've heard and what we've seen, but holy smokes, the foot is firmly planted on the gas for the LA Dodgers.
We'll give you our thoughts on yesterday's Dodgers moves, and then we'll move on from that to the topic wheel, because there's only so much Dodgers talk we can all stomach on a December morning here. So glad to have everybody with us. Friday has finally arrived. It's our last Friday of the year. Appreciate everyone already up early in our chat on YouTube, listening on our Odyssey app, and of course, out on your radios at home, in your cars in San Diego this morning. Thanks for joining. It's Ben and Woods and Paul on San Diego's #1 sports station. Let's get Vicky's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever heard this one
I could
before.
listen to this all day.
Otis Redding, man. The great Otis Redding. Merry Christmas, baby. My Otis Redding. So good. I mean, you could hear him sing anything, and he would sound just fantastic, dude. Fantastic. So I was putting together a little Christmas playlist last night of some Christmas songs that I enjoy. I can't, it's hard to do the ones that you hear on the radio all the time. Man, like I love Little Saint Nick from the Beach Boys.
That's a good one.
It's so good. I love the one that we played yesterday that Devlin picked, the Pogues song Fairy Tale in New York. Beautiful. So I was starting to make a playlist for the Christmas and holiday extravaganza, and then I remembered we don't need a playlist. We have the actual GOAT, Bobby Cressy, Padres organist, coming in to play music for us the whole day. It's just made the Christmas show so much more special. So looking forward to hanging out with him. One of my favorite people in this town, Bobby Cressy, will be playing. It's such a good get for us to get Bobby Cressy in here that whole day, just putting the soundtrack to Ben and Woods.
I always enjoy Bobby Cressy. Every time he has a gig somewhere, will post whatever they feed him.
What a bit.
With
What a
the
bit
rubber
that
chicken
is.
dinner every single time.
It's called corporate chicken.
Corporate
The
chicken, corporate
chicken
beef,
thread.
whatever he gets. Petco Park breakfast meats in the press box. He always posts the food.
I love it every time I see it.
I can't wait until he posts something from the holiday extravaganza this Wednesday.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He is the best. So excited to see him next week. Where do you guys want to start? Should we go ahead and mention what happened?
Yeah. Let's. I think in this off season we're ready to talk about the Padres doing something, and if it's not the Padres, then maybe someone else. But it continues to be the Dodgers
It's
day
just a
in
Dodger
and day out.
show now.
Yesterday was let's introduce Shohei Ohtani with the big news conference, and then while that's happening, let's have news break that we've also acquired an ace starting pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays. The trade sending Tyler Glasnow and former Padre Manuel Margot to the Dodgers in exchange for pitcher Ryan Pepio and outfield prospect Johnny DeLuca. Now, it's not official, and it is contingent on Tyler Glasnow signing a contract extension with the Dodgers.
That line killed me.
If they can't afford
Of course.
an extension for Tyler Glasnow, this could all fall apart. It's not falling apart. They're going to get that done probably at some point today, and they will have that trade done, and they will add some pitching. Now, just because you've added Tyler Glasnow, you can't be confident what you're getting with Tyler Glasnow. When he's healthy, he's an outstanding pitcher. Really, really good. He's very brittle, I guess would be a word to describe it. Injury prone. He actually had his best, healthiest season of his career last year, and he still only pitched 120 innings. In comparison, like a really durable pitcher who has a good season, you're hoping like 180, 200, maybe even plus innings.
200 is kind of an
200 is a
outlier
lot now. It
these days.
used to be the benchmark. Now I'd say it's more like 160 to 180.
Yep, 180.
But 120 as your max ever means you've got to expect at least a month or two on the injured list every year for Tyler Glasnow, and sometimes more. So the Dodgers aren't getting someone you can necessarily rely on every fifth day to go out there and be a top of the rotation guy. But when he is healthy, he's really, really good.
So I saw my father-in-law last night, who is a massive Dodger fan. It's literally his only fault. That's the only one he has. And it's a big one. It's certainly a big one. But I said, he walked in and he had this, S-eating grin on his face. And I go, well, you may only get 70 innings, but they're going to be the best 70 innings you get probably from anybody in your rotation, because when he's on, he is absolutely electric. Struck out 162 in 120 innings, only walked 37, Ben. He is an elite pitcher when he is healthy. It was weird. He said, he goes, I'm obviously love to have a big name. He goes, I really didn't want to give Pepio up. He goes, I really liked him. He's young. He's controllable. He goes,
had a better ERA than Glasnow, actually.
And he goes, so Pepio was probably going to be in the rotation, so now we still need a pitcher. We didn't actually, we just upgraded potentially the one that we had for way more money. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I did hear a report last night from a friend in the industry saying the extension will be around the neighborhood of 3 years, $100 million. Now, I guess you can quote me on it, but damn, that's just what I'm telling you. What a text that I got out of the blue.
Woodsy's actually breaking some news. We don't usually get this.
No, I said, I go, bro, there's no way. That's 33 a year.
Well, he
Now,
was going to get 25 from the Rays this year. Of course, the Rays never won. No, they actually signed him to an extension, which was backloaded. And now, of course, they're trading him before they have to pay any of the money because the Rays are poor, and they do that. They don't keep their players around. They trade them before they get expensive. But he was going to get 25, so 33 sounds like a nice raise. I
heard it'll actually be a 33-year contract, and the money will be deferred until 2054.
Right. I would imagine the pressure now. First of all, if you're Glass now, you're in the catbird seat. You know the Dodgers want you. They don't want to lose out on this trade that they've agreed on. So you feel like you can squeeze them for a little bit. If you're the Dodgers, you can't let $1 million or $2 million hold up this deal. So Glasnow's agent's going to make sure that his client's well taken care of. Everybody gets what they want, and I'm sure they get this deal done at some point today, and it's announced. And yeah, the Dodgers have a new pitcher who Padres might see in one of those first 2 games in Korea to open the season. He's that kind of pitcher that he's healthy. 1 or 2, depending on who else is healthy in that Dodgers rotation, you probably see him right off the bat to start the year. So, yeah, did the Dodgers get better? Likely. I think you make a good point, though, that Pepio was younger, was very promising, was likely going to spend 100-plus innings in their starting rotation this year. So you're only getting an upgrade over whatever Glasnow can give you that Pepio didn't. And there's no guarantee that he gives you more than Pepio was going to.
No, and, it's a lot of dough for him. They have a lot of dough. They really don't care. They can withstand it. I did think immediately, oh, cool. Their entire starting rotation is right-handed. Our entire starting lineup, save Jake Cronenworth, is, and, he's on the block allegedly, is right-handed. So the matchup isn't great yet. I obviously don't know everyone's splits from their rotation, but they've got some nasty righties, Ben. To a man, they all throw that nasty slider away. Dustin May, Tyler Glasnow, Walker Buehler. I'm picturing, oh man, we are going to see a lot of ass out swinging at that slider on the outer third of the plate. You're going to have to find some lefties to neutralize some of this at some point. I just don't know really who's out there. And I have not heard, guys, again, one single solitary mention, whisper, nothing. Crickets right now from the Padres.
The other part, the other news from yesterday that honestly I think is more relevant to the San Diego Padres just quickly was the 1-year, $14 million deal for Jack Flaherty with the Detroit Tigers.
I thought of you immediately because you said something yesterday that stuck with me all day. You said, do baseball players not get punished for bad seasons anymore?
No.
And the answer to that is unequivocally no. When you see Jack Flaherty pitch between a couple of teams last year to a 5.09 ERA, I think.
4.99 and 144 innings with the Cardinals and Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, 4.99 was the final?
4.99.
Okay. I thought I saw 5.09.
But, it's about the same.
It's about the same thing. Yeah, we're splitting hairs here. $14 million 1 year.
I mean, was he punished? Deal. He didn't get a multi-year deal. His punishment wasn't, you're not going to make $14 million. You are.
Yeah, but you're not going to make $3 million and have to prove yourself on the way back.
You're just not going to get 3 years of it. You're going to have to actually, go and, hey, give us at least a 4 ERA again, and then we'll give you another
$14 million.
$15 million the next year. But, Padres are still on the market for starting pitching, and that market is get a really mediocre pitcher
for a lot of money
for what is probably, a third to half your budget for next season. It's kind of ridiculous right now, and it shows you that it's going to be very hard for A.J. Preller to add pieces, and try to keep, to whatever budget he's at right now. It's one signing is going to eat up whatever A.J.'s doing. One signing, even if it's a pretty mediocre-looking player, is going to eat up a lot of that flexibility that he created with the Juan Soto trade.
Yeah, no question, man. And now everything looks like an overpay.
I mean, I want Jack Flaherty for $14 million? No.
I didn't either. Massively inconsistent.
Strikes out a lot of guys, but I mean, it just didn't have a good season. So that's
the going rate.
That's the going rate. That's where we stand. We will update you if there is any news as we go out throughout the rest of our year here.
Paulie says it. We need guys. We do. But not 1-year deals at $14 million for very middling pitchers. If that's the going rate, man, let's see what the young guys got, I guess.
Now, very excited. We told you this yesterday. Kyle Higashioka is going to join us at 8 o'clock, so we get to talk to one of the new Padres coming up later this morning. So looking forward to that. But until then, we're just going to have a good time spinning the topic wheel up next. If you want to play our Tier 1 topic wheel and join us with whatever comes up, question-wise on the wheel, you can call us during this break, 833-288-0973. We're spinning it. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, do they not want to play with us this morning, Benjamin? The tier ones?
Oh, that's right. We need callers.
in,
Yeah, we got the tier 1 topic wheel coming up.
Yes.
And I think we may have been talking and the phone rang a couple of times. We will answer it if you call now. 833-288-0973.
Hey, call us. We're not going to answer the phone, but we just like
You'd be
to see you
surprised how
call.
many times that actually happens. Well,
does.
Paulie's super busy. He wears like 7 hats in the morning. And one of them has to be phone screener because we don't have anyone else here with us. The building is frighteningly empty most mornings.
Desolate.
So if you call in and don't get
I
answered,
try to screen as many as I can.
it's not because we don't.
You don't get
it's not
screened.
because we don't care about you, but he might be directing the YouTube show. He might be actually, playing sound bites or commercials or anything off the board there. He might be putting together a promo, or he's the imaging director around here as well. Paulie wears tons of hats, and occasionally, sometimes the phone rings for a while. We know you're calling in. We really do appreciate it. We do.
Caitlin says we're all still asleep, Woods. So, all right,
that's
fair
fine
too.
I
That's
see.
fair,
Yeah,
too.
well, people are calling in, so we're
It's
going
up to us.
Spin the tier 1 topic wheel. Quickly, a reminder: our 5th annual Ben and Woods Christmas and Holiday Extravaganza. You know it's coming up on Wednesday. We are giving away $1,000 gift cards to help families in need in San Diego and our local area buy gifts for the holidays. We're getting lots of submissions, but we haven't made our final decisions on everyone yet. So if you visit 973thefansd.com/holiday, you can nominate a family, whether it's a good friend, someone you saw, a neighbor, whatever that you think had a tough year and probably needs a little extra spending money to help their kids or whatever during this holiday season.
You guys
can
have
do
all
that.
made it very difficult on us.
Yes, you have.
There have been
Yeah,
some
man.
great submissions.
Yeah, there's been a lot, but it's time. There's still time to get in, and we have to thank our incredible, generous sponsors who have helped donate these $1,000 gift cards. Padilla Law Group, San Diego's father-son injury law firm. Visit PadillaLawGroup.com. If you need an injury attorney, you better be visiting PadillaLawGroup.com. The San Diego
I hope
Seals.
not to get injured, but
if you do, if you need one, the San Diego Seals, get your tickets now at SealsLax.com. Don't want to see it any other lacrosse games other than Seals games.
Absolutely not.
Swami's Cafe. Everyone needs a good omelet or some pancakes. Spot to dine and unwind. And 7 Mile Casino. I don't want to see you playing California-style blackjack anywhere else.
That's right.
Just 7 minutes from downtown. And our Tier 1s who have come together to raise over $2,000 for more gift cards. Thank you, everybody, for your support coming up on Wednesday. All right, people calling in. We're going to spin that topic wheel as soon as Vicky checks traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicki Pepper.
Still got our Friday light conditions this morning. Still got some volume on the 15 South in North County. That work zone has you down a lane, but even things there look like they're starting to ease up. I'm Vicki Pepper with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's start with Scott at the top of our board. Scott, thank you for calling in. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Good,
We
buddy.
Good.
How are you?
We're good. All right, we're going to spin the wheel, so get ready to answer the question that comes up. We have no idea what's in there. I know Paulie's got a lot of questions on the wheel now.
All right. This question is, what TV show is everyone obsessed with that you just can't get into?
Oh,
Where do I start?
I've got a lot here.
I never got into Seinfeld.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a good
I
one.
was not expecting
Okay,
that.
can I ask you why?
Because I'm the squirrely one. What can you say?
Oh, that's
Tree
that's
rat.
a tree rat. So
Tree rat.
no Seinfeld.
My wife's the
Yeah,
same
I
way. She
mean,
doesn't
I've
like
ca-
shows
I've
with a
caught
laugh
it.
track.
I've caught it. I like the episodes when I see it. I just never went full bore into it.
I went
So,
nuts
just-
on it. It's weird though because if they show a Seinfeld episode from the first 3 seasons, I'm like, this is one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life. I can't. This is terrible. But it gets progressively better.
I kind of agree with Tree Rat. I mean, I watched Seinfeld. I wasn't a huge fan. I think I like shows that the characters have an arc and develop. And that was the thing about Seinfeld. They were just the same
Every day.
every day. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
It was the show about
was it.
nothing. And there were funny. There were funny episodes. There were funny bits, undoubtedly. But it just kind of went on and was there. And I want more of a story. Even like Friends, Ross and Rachel, they're going to get together.
Right.
I want that emotional connection. And I never got it with any of the Seinfeld characters.
Mine are big ones, dude. They're really, really, really big ones. Number one, and
I think you and I are going to be on the same page.
blows everyone away that I don't like The Wire, and I've tried at least once a year for the last 8 to 10 years to sit down, get my head into The Wire. It's got drugs, it's got everything that usually gets me, and I don't know why. For whatever reason, I watch it and I'm like, every time. I've tried. I've been open minded about it. It doesn't connect with me. And Game of Thrones. I watched 1 season of Game of Thrones, and then I was like, I want to die.
I will do a current one. I always have trouble getting into Westerns, and I have not watched any Yellowstone. Everyone seems like Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Kevin
same.
Costner, it's amazing.
Pretty good,
I
but
know.
it's also pretty terrible.
Is it? I have no idea. It's really something that I've really always struggled with. The Westerns have never been my favorite genre, and I have not tried Yellowstone.
First one for me that came to mind was Game of Thrones as well. Also, any of the Star Wars, The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
stuff from the last few years. I wasn't into Star Wars, so I didn't get into these shows, but I know they're massive, massive successes.
Hugely successful shows. But yeah, not really for me. I like that topic, though. That was a good one.
Anthony the Butcher says Yellowstone is the worst best show on TV.
It is.
I don't know
yeah,
exactly what that means, but
It's like a guilty pleasure. I mean, there's some cool storylines, and there's some that you're like, all right, bro, what is the guiding light here? What are we doing? But there's some great characters. Like Rip is a great character, a phenomenal character.
Tree, thanks for
Thanks,
calling,
buddy.
and happy holidays to you. Let's welcome Robert onto the Tier 1 topic wheel. We usually do this in our 9 o'clock hour. Good morning, Robert.
We're switching it up, man.
Morning.
Morning.
Holidays.
All right, here comes the wheel. Get ready.
What product do you miss that is no longer being sold?
Oh man,
Go ahead, Robert.
what product do I miss that is no longer sold?
I got one if you need to think on it for a minute.
That's kind of tough because I don't really, I have no idea of. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
You're
right
blanking.
now.
All right,
That's
we'll
okay.
put you on hold. We'll come back
Hang
to you,
on,
all right?
Hang on.
They used to make these things that were these like little peanut butter logs. Okay, picture a tube of peanut butter rolled in something. Not quite granola, but rolled in like chocolate chips
Is it like
or
a Chico stick.
no, it was rolled in like maybe granola, chocolate chips, and they had them when I was a kid.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And bro,
Yes, I remember this.
I can't remember what they're called for the life of me,
Oh.
but they don't make them anymore.
All right, so it's funny. Of course, I'm going to choose food as well, and I just saw that this was discontinued like 3 or 4 years ago. And I'll admit, I haven't had one in a long time, but my grandma always used to have them in her purse, and I don't know why I liked them. But did you know they don't make certs anymore?
I did not know that.
Certs
They don't make them
with Retsin.
with Redson. made up. It's like nougat. Nobody knows really what it is.
There's little breath crystals that are in there.
Yeah.
Just the little mint. I liked little Certs mints.
I
guess they don't make Certs anymore.
I loved
with Retsin.
Don't they? There's no certs. No,
apparently not.
No,
I read that.
No, like offshoot.
No,
like
I mean you
Certs
can get
gum or anything.
Lifesavers mint flavors if you really want a circular mint that comes in a little wrapped tube. But apparently they don't make Certs anymore.
Minute Maid orange soda is a really good one.
I used to have those as a kid.
All I could think of were like food topics.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like stuff that I grew up with in the 90s, like Squeeze-Its or Trix yogurt. Like they don't make a lot of that stuff anymore.
If anybody remembers the name of those things I was talking about, I will be very. Actually, I'll be sad because I don't get to experience
as far
it
as
anymore.
like gadgets or
I
anything
totally
like that,
know what you
everything
mean
has
now.
gotten better now.
Yeah, everything's better now. Certainly, but
food's way better now today.
Yeah, that's good.
Robert, did you come up with one while we were talking? Did you think of one? Something you miss?
I did. Actually, I did. When I was a kid, a couple of the friends in the neighborhood, we used to always get these from the candy store, the cigarettes.
Yeah,
candy cigarettes.
They make them again, buddy.
They do.
They do.
Where they sell them at? I'm about to go give me a pack.
Yeah,
I'm
Dude,
about
they're
to go give me a pack and wrap them for Christmas and then give them out to all my friends.
Yeah, dude. They make gum ones. I
thought
some.
they banned them like in the state because they promote like you give them to your 5-year-old and now the 5-year-old wants to turn into a smoker.
Yeah, I did.
At some point.
I did give them to my 5-year-old. There's a little candy store down in Coronado when we bought some there. And my Hannah was none too pleased as Bo was in the back smoking. They were gum. They were gum cigarettes.
Yeah, bubble gum
cigarettes. Yeah.
Dude,
wrapped
how
in a
about
little
this?
paper.
Beef writes in the chat, Listerine strips.
Those are so nasty.
They don't make those either.
loved
They were so
Listerine
nasty.
Someone wrote in
strips.
Banaka. Do they not make the Banaka spray anymore?
Altoids is another. What's the deal with all these breath mints that
yeah.
they got rid of? Interesting.
All right,
Interesting.
Robert, thank you for
Thank you,
calling. We
Robert.
got Steve. Welcome to our Tier 1 topic wheel. We have time to spin maybe two more if you want to call in. 833-288-0973. Hey, Steve.
Gentlemen, good morning. When I was a kid, I'd go to the local 7-Eleven, and for a cool 10 cents, you'd get a pack of cinnamon toothpicks.
Oh, I love
I remember
cinnamon.
those.
I have
Yeah.
some.
You still have some?
Yeah, I got cinnamon toothpicks.
That was back in the Midwest.
Yeah, I bought them online.
Not here. 10 cents, pack cinnamon toothpicks on the way home after school.
Can't beat it.
That's great, but that's not your question,
That's not
Steve.
your
We're
question.
going to spin for your question, so hang on.
Okay.
All right, question is, what genre of music have you never been able to get into?
Ooh, we got a TV show you can't get into, and now a genre of music you can't get into.
Does it have to be genre, or can I narrow it down?
Go ahead.
You can narrow it
whatever
down.
whatever you think here. Go ahead, Steve.
For as much as I love, hard rock and heavy metal and stuff as a kid, I could never get into Rush. I could never get into Rush.
I've heard that before.
Just like you said, The Wire.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
It's probably
I
Getty.
question this person.
It's probably Getty Lee's voice.
Like,
honestly.
I've asked you this before because I grew up kind of appreciating Rush more after the fact.
Sure.
And everything I heard and saw from people were just like, they're a cult classic, like cult following, like nobody really likes Rush.
They're beloved.
But the people that really like them, like absolutely love them. I'm like, they're fine, they're good.
You guys know our beloved Hillary that works at 91X, one of
Yes.
my favorite humans alive.
She's the best.
She is such a huge Rush fan, and I always used to give her grief. I'd be like, you realize you're like the hottest person to ever be at a Rush concert ever, and like one of 3 women at a Rush show ever. And she would like smack me on the arm, and it was a lot of the musicians gravitated towards Rush, and I was such a bad musician that I listened to Rush. I go, no, I'm not even going to try to attempt to play any of that.
My answer, I actually
Is
feel
it the voice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really Getty Lee's voice, which I love now. But even coming up when I was a kid, I was like, oof, it's different.
My answer, I actually feel guilty about. Like, this is a genre of music that I think I should like. I want to like. I think it's cool to like it. Jazz.
It's tough, dude.
I would love the idea of like going to a jazz club in New Orleans and sitting down and having a drink and listening. And
I bet
anytime
if you
I
went
actually
to an
listen to
actual
jazz, I
club-
can make it through about. Like I can make it through like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, the first like minute, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This sounds great. And then you get to like the second or third minute, I'm going, I'm so bored of this.
Yeah, but going
I'm so
to a
tired of
jazz
listening
club
to
like in
this.
New Orleans, I think would be different than just flipping it on
Listening to jazz.
Spotify or something.
They're so talented. They're like improv. I like this is so cool. I want to like this, and I sit down and I can't do it. I just can't. I can't listen to it.
I watched a couple documentaries that changed my mind on it. Now, I don't listen to it a lot, but I watched the Miles Davis documentary and I went, okay, all right, I get it now. And the Chet Baker documentary, I was like, all right, I get it now.
So Drew in the chat writes, I have jazz on right now in the shop, and I don't know what kind of shop it is, but I think that's part of it is you feel like I hear jazz and I feel like I'm walking through a department store or I'm somewhere and it's just not, I'm just not into it anymore. Mine
is unquestionably probably the emo screamo. I just never, I missed it, you know. Even Blink 182 to a certain extent, I missed it entirely.
See, I like the pop punk.
Pop punk, yeah. I never got into it.
I'm with you on like the screamo and like the death metal.
Yeah,
I'm like,
death metal's different. Death metal's way different.
It all sounds the same to me.
Our beloved Corpus, who are tier ones, now they play death metal, and they want Ben at a show so bad. I love, like they send
want
me,
Ben at one of their
they
shows.
send me music like you have to get Ben here. I go, bro, I will do anything if it lines up. Corpus, you guys are probably listening. They're huge fans of the show, local band, and they are hardcore, dude. Hardcore. We got to get you to a Corpus show in 2024. I don't think you'll like it. I'll be honest with you right now. I don't think you're going to like it at all.
I don't expect to.
It's going to be one of the worst nights you've ever had, but we're going to have a great time because we'll be together. Oh, I like those
Can it be
topics.
like you and
Great
your
job.
kids when you take them to a show?
Yeah,
to
you put
wear
the
those,
things on your
those
head.
like earphones that just kind of quiet everything down a little bit.
Yeah, Hannah also says, I refuse to appreciate reggae and ska. That's probably true as well. I make fun of her for her reggae loving, you know, North County. Like, oh, do you get your...
I like it. It needs to be the right like setting and the right vibe.
You're in the struggle and you say like jaw love and stuff like that. I get it. Totally makes sense. You have a braid. Cool. You're Irie. Right on. So yeah, she's right. She's right.
One lore,
everybody. She has a tattoo. She had
I'm an island boy.
She had her Prius in Bob Marley colors. She's embarrassed.
I'm an
It's embarrassing.
island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
Yeah, that's what the reggae stuff.
Oh, that was fun. All right, we'll probably do that again before the end of the year. We've only got a couple of normal shows left, but we got to squeeze in a little more Tier 1 topic. I'm glad we did it on our first hour, as opposed to at the end when we're all tired and ready to go home in the morning.
That's
that
exactly
was, that
right.
was good.
So
All
much
right,
better.
We'll come back. We'll play Take on Woods on a Friday. Chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas, one of our last games of the month. It's all coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Sour Ben Woods is brought to you by the Golf Mart.
Love golf.
Speaking of golf, Tiger and Charlie Woods in action today. PNC Championship. It's not father-son. It's professional golfer family member tournament. I think Justin Thomas plays with his dad.
That's right. I remember this.
Yeah, they do it every year somewhere down in Florida, I think, and you will see Tiger and Charlie going at it today in the PNC Championship first round.
Okay.
If you want to play Take on Woods, we are a few minutes away, but you can get in early, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We know that, maybe the category will be reggae, and we know Woods doesn't get into it, so it's a possibility you could beat him in that category.
I've been very fallible lately, Ben.
I don't really have a ton of thoughts on the game last night.
People want to hear you dance on.
Everyone already did.
Yeah, they did. Every national media, the whole thing. So I missed a lot of it because I was at the kids pageant program.
It was was just an unremitting string of turnovers by the Chargers that were then turned into points by the Raiders. Oh, fumbled the first play of the drive and then go 12 yards in and score, and then fumble the first play of the drive and go 40 yards in and score. Pick six on a screen pass, fumble, return, touchdown. Easton Stick, who got his first start, he's been the backup for like years, finally got his opportunity. That's the night. Okay, I genuinely feel bad for a guy like that.
Oh, no question.
He was an FCS star. North Dakota State was an FCS star, then sits for years while Justin Herbert plays, and he never gets into a game, essentially, and finally gets his first start of his career, and it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare of turnovers.
It can't go worse, right? I mean, that can't go worse.
But it's not all his fault.
Right.
I mean, the offensive line is not. He did a couple of times, but so did a couple of running backs. I mean, but he's hit. When the offensive line is letting the blitz come in, and any quarterback is going to fumble sometimes in those situations when you're going back to pass and you're hit at the right moment, the ball comes out. Now, he was probably not what you'd want to see ball security wise, but I mean, what else is there? It was I felt bad for Al Michaels a little bit during the game. Just such a horrible match. Any of the broadcasters, really. It's tough to do a game like that. You get one game a week, and this is it, and it's over before essentially the first quarter. It's 49-0, early in the third quarter, and you're just filling time. You're essentially doing our job now, and filling 4 hours and not really having anything to talk about because the game is not worthy of discussion. So that I felt bad a little bit on that aspect. Amazon Prime pays a ton of money for these games. I would guess would end up being one of their lowest rated games ever. I mean, there was no reason to keep tuning in other than if you wanted to dance on the Chargers' grave or see how much the
10
Raiders.
minutes I tuned in for it was just Al Michaels and
pile on.
They were just talking about the Sphere, and Al Michaels was talking about how he went to a show recently.
Oh my God, he's like, I can't wait for Fish, and it's terrible. Listen, we've watched those games this season that are 6-0. Also, and that's terrible, right? Like there's varying degrees of a bad NFL football game. That one, I don't think too many ex-Charger fans were bummed about. It's kind of exactly what you want. I saw many victory laps yesterday. That franchise,
a lot of shots of Dean Spanos in the luxury boxes having to watch it, which was entertaining for sure.
Rich Eisen, according to Tom, said Rich Eisen tweeted asking if Amazon Prime had ever requested a refund. Yeah. So, I mean,
Mark Davis had like 9 bottles of water in front of him as he watched the game.
He drinks one for every touchdown. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he drinks one.
Is that why?
He drinks one for every touchdown, and people are like, he may drown tonight in this game. But yeah, man, that is that's not great. Not a great showing.
So just so everybody knows, there's actually 3 games tomorrow. And do we have those, right? Tomorrow, right here. Triple header on 97.3 The Fan. Vikings at Bengals. Big game for both teams as they're both fighting for a playoff spot. Then Pittsburgh, Indy. 2 more teams fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. And then Denver at Detroit. Playoff teams, contenders at least, as well. So 3 games all day long tomorrow, triple header here on 97.3 The Fan. And every single one of those games with pretty big implications. Sunday's got some decent games, too. The Bays collide, Tampa and Green. They're both right on the edge of the playoffs. I think they'd both be in today. in the NFC. Giants at New Orleans doesn't seem like a good game, but you got to watch Tommy DeVito at this point.
Yeah, that's a point.
And New Orleans
viewing.
is still tied for first place in the NFC South. Dallas at Buffalo is a big game. Cowboys are hot right now, but Buffalo is as well, and they're trying to climb back into a playoff spot in the AFC. They got Dallas at home, so I think that's an interesting game. And then Baltimore at Jacksonville is the Sunday night game, and that's a pretty big game with Baltimore right now holding the number 1 seed and Jacksonville leading their division. Possible playoff preview. So this weekend, Thursday night's game was terrible, but the Saturday and Sunday games tomorrow and Sunday should be pretty decent matchups this weekend.
Like this time of year when they do it both days on the weekend for sure. Makes it a little bit better until we wait for the return of when do the bowl games
Bowl games start tomorrow as well, but there's not really
any good ones for a while.
Yeah, the best probably bowl game tomorrow is the Los Angeles Bowl, the LA Bowl, which is UCLA against Boise State.
Okay.
And apparently Gronk is hosting and singing the national anthem.
I mean, I have to see that. We're going to need audio of that over the weekend.
I think that is the highlight of the weekend when it comes to college football. But there's like 6 games tomorrow if you're desperate to bet on something.
No, I'm not.
You have lots of bowl games to choose from.
I sat down yesterday and was like, well, let me take a look at this Chargers Raiders game. And they had
the over hit in the first half on Raiders points alone.
The under was way more bet in last night's game than the under. I mean, massively.
Let's see. The Chargers won a 6-0 game 2 weeks ago, and the Raiders lost a 3-0 game 5 days ago.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, an over-under somewhere in the 40.
It was 34.
34?
Yeah.
Seemed like a pretty high number for those two teams. Raiders got there in the first half by themselves. So I'm glad I did not touch that. And then the line was Chargers were getting 3 points last night. And a lot of people took the points, took the Chargers. They thought, Eckler's going to go off tonight. I know there's no Keenan Allen, but Eckler will go off. I don't know how he did. But they said his prop bets were the most bet of anything last night was the Austin Eckler prop bet. What did he finish with?
I don't know what he finished with because I didn't bet anything. I just stayed away from
I know
that
he got
game.
at least one first down because you saw him celebrate.
Yeah, celebrate down 49-0.
One first down.
Yep.
Let's see. He finished with 5 carries for 9 yards. Guessing that's probably the under.
What was his receptions or yards receiving?
He did catch 4 passes for 29 yards.
Under. Yeah, nobody would have. You didn't. If you took the over, I think it was 30.5. Man, what a rough night for the Los Angeles Chargers of Los Angeles.
Maybe their worst ever. Not the biggest margin of defeat, but the most points they've ever allowed, and certainly the most embarrassing national television type calamity that the franchise has seen.
Showing the guys on the sideline with the towels over their head, just like get me out of here. That's a huge.
I mean,
issue.
the Raiders had that 330-pound lineman who picked up the fumble and returned it for a touchdown. What was his name? John Jenkins. No one even came close to chasing him down. The guy was running as fast as he can, but I mean, there's 30 guys, or 20 guys on the field who are faster than him. Probably no one even came close. The Chargers didn't care.
Vacation mode.
That made it 56-7 at that point to end the third quarter.
It's horrendous, man. Yeah, horrendous.
It was really ugly. Was that not a take on Woods contestant?
He wanted a topic wheel.
Oh, topic wheel. Well, then we still need a take on Woods contestant. You can get in right now and play. Instant right to the front of the line if you want to try to take on Woods and qualify for Las Vegas. 833-288-0973. Call us right now, 833-288-0973, because we're going to play here in like the next 30 to 45 seconds, so we need a contestant pretty quickly.
While we wait for a call, I just had a quick question, you guys. So Woodsy was telling me about a segment on the Dan Le Batard show. We're all fans of them. I was watching yesterday, and before they got to the interview that I wanted to watch, they were talking about Tommy Cutlets and how it's kind of the year of the backup quarterback in the NFL this year, like Jake Browning and whatever the hell the Jets are rolling out there, and then, of course, Tommy Cutlets. And they were comparing him to Jeremy Lin Sanity.
Yeah.
Now, Jeremy Lin, it was only like a couple of games.
No, it was like a month.
Was
he
it
was
a
like
month?
he was
I
good
thought
for
it was
like a
like a
month.
week.
No, he was good for like a month. It was weird.
Can you...
Did he parlay that too? No.
Now, I think
so.
in basketball, you can get hot and stay hot for a little while. Can you fool people in the NFL? Like, can you trick people as a good quarterback?
Matt Castle, Jimmy Garoppolo,
Matt Flynn.
It happens.
Those were one game.
No, they like
Matt
Flynn was one game.
Matt Flynn was one game.
But there's guys who look good for a little bit.
Month
and then,
or so.
And then
You're like,
fall
we got
off
it.
the map.
We're done. We've got our
Joshua Dobbs this year in Minnesota looked great for a game and a half.
Third string.
And now he's been benched in favor of Nick Mullins.
Yes.
Point being, like, is Tommy DeVito good?
Probably not.
Or do we just think he's good because he had a nice game?
Well,
or
and
two?
his family serves cutlets. Literally, like that's people are most
And
excited
by the way,
about that.
His agent, Sean Stellato, is going into the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame tonight. Yeah. I don't know if that was just based on this week alone or something he's done in the past, but he is really capitalizing on this Tommy DeVito craze. All right, we got some people calling in. Let's get to it. Let's play Take on Woods. Hey, we got Jim ready to take on Woods this morning. Hi, Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, you've played before, right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
All right, you've got 60 seconds to try to answer as many of the 5 musical questions as possible. If you beat or tie Woods, we will add you to our grand prize drawing coming up here in just after our last show here on Wednesday for a trip or 2 to Las Vegas, 2 nights at the Westgate, tickets to Barry Manilow, dinner at Edge Steakhouse. You'll have a phenomenal time. You can get your tickets out there now at Ticketmaster.com. But to win them, we will let you pick the category here. Here are your choices, Jim. Mystery category. We got That's the Ticket. Those are 5 song titles that all start with the word That's. And we've got Let's Do the 80s and 90s. Those are 5 songs from one of those decades whose titles begin with the word Let's. So mystery category, That's the Ticket, or Let's Do the 80s and 90s. Jim?
Let's do the 80s or 90s.
Let's do the 80s and 90s. All right, today I have 5 songs from either the 1980s or 1990s whose titles begin with the word Let's. 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We'll come back to it. First question is our 2-second song. Paulie will play some music. You need to give me that title and the artist to score the point there. And then Woods comes in. We compare, contrast. You beat him or tie him. We put you into the drawing. Jim, you ready to go?
Let's go.
Paulie looks like he's ready. So 60 seconds on the clock. Category, Let's Do the 80s and 90s. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Jim. Let's take on Woods.
Let's groove tonight. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Correct. Which classic 1984 song begins with an organ and Prince giving a eulogy for this thing called life?
Let's go crazy.
Correct. Salt and Pepper would be perfectly at home in a high school health class based on which Frank-sounding hit from 1991?
Pass.
The title track from which 1983 album of the same name became the biggest selling single for David Bowie?
Let's dance.
Correct. Denise Williams contributed which 1984 hit to the soundtrack from Footloose?
Come on, Jim.
Let's go back to the other one.
Salt and Pepper would be perfectly at home in a high school health class based on which Frank-sounding hit from 1991? 3 is not a bad score. Don't know if it's going to be enough
Jim's
today.
Gonna kick himself.
Hang on the line, Jim. The ones you didn't get, let's talk about sex. Salt and Pepper, and then Denise Williams is Let's Hear It for the Boy. You got the other ones, Let's Groove, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Let's Go Crazy, and Let's Dance. So let's bring Woods in and see. Who knows? Maybe he'll sneak out the tie. I can't see him missing too many of these. We'll see. He doesn't get the category, though. It does make it a little tougher for him. All right, 60 seconds back on the clock. Reset our 2-second song. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Jim.
Pass.
Which classic 1984 song begins with an organ and Prince giving a eulogy for this thing called life?
Let's Go Crazy.
Correct. Salt and Pepper would be perfectly at home in a high school health class based on which Frank-sounding hit from 1991?
Let's Talk About Sex.
Correct. This title track from which 1983 album of the same name became the biggest selling single for David Bowie?
Say again?
The title track from which 1983 album of the same name became the biggest selling single for David Bowie?
Heroes.
Incorrect. Denise Williams contributed which 1984 hit to the soundtrack from Footloose?
Let's hear it for the boy.
Correct. Go back to our 2-second song. For the win.
Boogie down, down. Gonna move tonight. It's in the spots. It's Cool in the Gang. No?
It's not.
Crap.
Which means...
Oh, my God.
Guess what? 3-3. Jim, you did it. You tied, and you have qualified for the drawing for Las Vegas.
Give me the category.
Let's do the 80s and 90s. Songs that begin with the word let's.
Oh, Let's Dance.
That's correct. And then that was Let's Groove.
Let's Groove.
By Earth, Wind, and Fire, not Cool in the Gang. So 3-3, and we get a tie.
Good job.
Tie goes to the Tier 1. Congratulations, Jim. Stay on the line, Paulie. I'll get all your information during the break. After traffic and get you into that drawing for Las Vegas.
Yep. I'm very excited about today's program because at 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to be joined by Kyle Higashioka, Benjamin, who is the catcher, one of the catchers for our beloved San Diego Padres.
The Higster.
I put more research into Kyle Higashioka than maybe I should have. I don't know.
Any interview subject
we've ever had. I don't know why. I'm drawn to him. It's probably his musical leanings and inclination. Seems like a really, really good dude. So I'm excited about that. That's coming up at 8. Don't go anywhere. Get to meet one of the newest Padres out there.
Looking forward to it. Don't Do This is coming up next. And, a dilemma for one very much in the media star right now, Travis Kelce.
Yes.
This week. We will get to that and more.
And delusional head coaches. Always a fun time.
Nice. All next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic. Don't go anywhere. 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. All right, so you may or may not have heard that Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce is going out with pop music star Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Get outta here.
He's off the market?
They've been
An item?
they've been seen together.
As my parents would say, an item.
There's been a minimal amount of reporting on it. You might have caught it in a trade magazine somewhere.
A trade magazine. What? NFL Dating Life? A trade magazine.
Wasn't expecting that while I took a swig of coffee.
So anyway,
Trade magazine?
Oh, man.
So anyway, this week's latest development in the ongoing saga
From the trades,
of the
again,
most over-reported story in America, and I know we're contributing to the problem.
We
right
are.
now.
It's fine.
So this week was Taylor's birthday. Turned 34. And when you're in a relationship, a birthday is a big thing, especially the first birthday together when you're celebrating
Sure.
at the time. But Taylor had a big party on Wednesday night in New York City, and Travis Kelce was not there. Now, the entertainment media thought this was a huge story, that he didn't show up. Obviously, must be on the outs. Who wouldn't show up to their superstar girlfriend's 34th birthday bash
Trouble
in New
in
York
Paradise.
City?
Yeah.
Entertainment Tonight did publish, though, an explainer for people who have been following this. A source tells E.T.
A source.
that the NFL star, quote, remains committed to playing his best and doing his best on and off the field. The team practices are critical, mandatory to attend, and something he takes very seriously. So it's no surprise he stayed in Kansas City
Right.
ahead of this weekend's game. They play the New England Patriots this Sunday.
Thank you, Entertainment Tonight.
For
Were
explaining
there
how
really
practices work.
Were there really people that were like, ooh, this is bad. This is a bad look? No, he can't do it. He's got practice.
You know what, though? His NFL career is probably in its last phase.
It's on the back nine.
Yeah. And it's possible Taylor is the rest of his life if this works out.
Potentially.
Is there no way he could have, they have plenty of money to hire a private jet, get practice ends, 5 o'clock, you run to the airstrip, you land 8 o'clock in New York City, private car, get you there for just a couple hours, make an appearance, right back to the plane, get home. It's time change. Well, there's the time change thing, probably didn't help. But even if you're there for the last 30 minutes of the party, you get back, it's still midnight in Kansas City, you go to bed, you go to practice the next day. Should he have made more of an effort to be at Taylor Swift's birthday party?
No, because if she truly is forever, they'll have many more birthdays to come. Right? And she works. She understands he's got a job to do. And
I would hope so.
She's not skipping a concert.
If she breaks up with him because he wouldn't come to her birthday party,
she's not going to.
Then they probably weren't destined to be together.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the Entertainment Tonight's explanation for the non-football fans out there how the team practices are critical, mandatory to attend, and something he takes very seriously.
Would that be the worst? Would that be the worst thing a player has ever done the night before practice? Absolutely not.
I know. He needs to be thinking long term.
Absolutely not. You think so?
Oh yeah.
You need to go lock that up.
What's he got?
It would have impressed her, right?
Six more years.
If he had
6 more, I don't think that much.
If he had
5,
surprised
4,
her,
3
I
at
thought
the
you had
most?
practice. I did. I made it. I did a plane. I got here. It would have impressed her. I can only stay for 20 minutes, and I got to get back to Kansas City.
20 minutes.
Let's just say if you're in a relationship with the most powerful, richest woman in the world, you want to be with her long after your NFL career.
Then just quit. Just quit and go be with her.
I think you take the risk of whatever happens.
And now it's the Patriots they're playing.
I'm being facetious. You don't screw around with your teammates like that.
Your teammates would murder you.
Dude,
I'd be livid.
You can't do that.
I would be livid.
Now, they're at home. If it's
the Patriots.
They're in. No, I mean
the
this
game's
week.
in New England, but
They're at home this week for practices
during
or whatever.
practice
If he can
week,
do a morning practice, hop on a PJ, get out to New York, be there for a couple of hours.
You can't ask
get back
Andy
at
Reid
2
though.
in the
Hey,
morning.
I know practice was supposed to be at 2 today, but can we
do it at
practice
8?
at 8 a.m. so I can fly to New York for the birthday party?
If he were able to make it work, would anybody have a problem with it? If he got back
I
at
wouldn't.
2 in the morning or something,
I
was
wouldn't
at
either.
practice the next day?
Just
now,
make sure you win.
The Chiefs have lost 3 of the last 4.
Yeah.
I think people would be really unhappy if they lost to the New England Patriots somehow.
Oh, could you imagine?
And he was at a birthday party this week. Yeah, that would be tough.
Well, I want to talk about, listen, I don't know what he's supposed to say, but it does feel a little bit delusional when they asked Brandon Staley after last night's absolute drubbing by the Las Vegas Raiders, does he still deserve to be the head football coach? Will he get fired?
I don't know that.
Do you think you should be?
Yes.
Why?
I know that what I've done here for 3 years, and I know what I put into this, and I know that we're capable of going. I know the type of coach that I am. I believe in myself. But again, this isn't about me. This is about a group that's hurting in there. We got to get some rest, and we got to get ready for Buffalo.
I mean, yeah, should you be? Yeah, I should be. Why? Well, I know what I've done. Well, what have you done? What have you done? Exactly. In 3 years. What?
Made the playoffs.
One.
And had a big lead in that playoff game.
Blew that one.
Yeah. Did lose the final game to the Raiders 2 years ago and not make the playoffs. That was bad coaching. I will say that. Now, you know what? Last night, though, if that's why you want to fire Brandon Staley, because they were embarrassingly bad, I don't know that last night was actually Brandon Staley's fault. He said, they put up 63. He's supposed to be a defensive genius, and they scored 63. Well, if you look at, total plays, 63 versus 63, total yards, 326 versus 378, time of possession, Chargers actually had the ball more. You can't really stop your quarterback from fumbling over and over again and your running backs from fumbling. I mean, you'd like them not to. But what are you going to do? If you keep turning the ball over for interception return touchdowns and fumble return touchdowns, that's not actually on his defense.
Something tells me.
That's on the offense and the turnovers. 5 of them versus none for the other team.
I think you really just want Brandon Staley to remain.
Of course I want him back.
It's like the Dave Roberts.
I'd love to have him back for another season. I think he deserves one
to 4,
last chance.
1 to 5 more years.
Yes.
Yeah.
One small contract extension.
Keep Tom Telesco, too. He's crushing it.
Totally.
All right, go ahead.
Do this here, finally.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
I interviewed Meta World Peace once in studio on an old job.
Did you?
He did,
awesome.
yeah.
I watched his documentary. It was incredible.
I actually liked him a ton. I know
I did too in the documentary.
He battled a lot of mental health challenges, and
he had tough upbringing, man.
Controversial player, to be sure. Ron Artest, during his career, served the longest suspension in NBA history following the malice at the Palace, 86 games. But I like this dude do this. So he was being interviewed this week and said, I would love to reach out and talk to Draymond Green and just share some of my insights about, what I have had to kind of deal with and manage, in my career and how I've tried to be, get better and move forward, because, Draymond Green has clearly run into these issues. He's on indefinite suspension now. We talked about it yesterday with the Golden State Warriors following repeated incidents where he just can't control his temper. And if Meta World Peace has something to offer here, I'm all for it. I think it's great that he's the guy maybe that should be actually talking to Draymond Green here.
That's exactly right. You go to somebody that's lived it and works hard to overcome it. You go sit into somebody that's never experienced what that's like. That's always the best resource. Breaking baseball news, Benjamin. The Kansas City Royals are finalizing a deal with one Hunter Renfroe. Your dad is so mad right now. It is expected
Seth Lugo and Hunter Renfroe.
It is expected to be a 1-year deal with a player option. So the Royals, Hunter Renfroe, another right-hander, is off the board.
Didn't really see him coming back to the Padres.
I didn't either. I saw people asking for it. Don't know how much the terms of the deal are, but we'll see.
Let's just assume it's like $19 million.
Yeah, $23 million for that.
That's what baseball players are going for nowadays. And that's Don't and Do This for Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we'll come back all week long. We have been looking back at our 2023 year month by month. We're already halfway through the year. We move into July when we come back. I took a little vacation in July, and Woods and Paul decided to have a little fun with
at your expense.
With my voice. while I was gone.
I loved this. I forgot about it.
And you actually made other people's lives in Alabama harder because of it.
I didn't mean to. And
Yeah,
I
you did, though.
apologize.
We kind of did mean to.
I apologize.
You did though. And we'll have that for you coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. John Heyman has the numbers on the Hunter Renfroe to the Royals deal. Welcome back. Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Yeah, it's barely anything. It's only $13 million for 2 years, and he gets an opt-out after the first season.
We are in the wrong business. God bless. I should have practiced
He got
harder.
released by the Angels last year.
I think he gets released a couple times a year. I feel like it's happened to him. Nothing against him personally. He was one of those guys that you thought was going to be part of the future. You thought like, man, this guy's getting 30 bombs a year guy.
I mean, I never wanted to be these guys make too much money guy on radio. I always promised I wouldn't be that guy.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm kind of falling into it this offseason right now.
It's pretty nuts,
It's hard
man.
not to.
It really
Jack
is
Flaherty for $14 million, Hunter Renfroe for $13 million over 2 years. These aren't great baseball players.
It's not nothing, dude.
They're not.
He's a negative WAR player last year. He did hit 20 bombs, drove in 60 runs, or 60 RBI. OBP below 300, slug of 416, OPS of 713, OPS plus 91. Just a pretty.
There's nothing special about any of those numbers.
20 bombs.
Even the
home runs.
Even
the home runs, but
you don't know if at bats. I mean, it's going to happen. 713 OPS, you said? It's not good.
He played last year with the Angels and the Reds. Hit 19 home runs in Anaheim, 1 with Cincinnati. And, I'd totally forgotten that he was in Cincinnati. Wild, man. Absolutely wild. So, yeah, he's going to make a little change, a little nice chunk of change from the Royals, who are out there spending money. Royals are trying to do something. Do anything, which is more than I can say for our beloved San Diego Padres right now that are just very, very quiet. Another deal went down yesterday. Ben, did you see the deal that the Texas Rangers did? Tyler Molly?
Yeah.
Yeah, $22 million.
Twins,
Reds.
$22 million.
$22 million, guaranteed.
He had Tommy John surgery in May, didn't he?
He did. He's going to miss the start of the 24
Yeah.
season. He's going to complete his rehab from Tommy John. They have 2 additional openings on the 40-man, spent half a season with the Twins, was a Red before that. And, so now he gets $11 million per. Whew. A lot of upside.
Knowing he's not even going to be able to pitch to start the year.
Velo's down a little bit, it looks like. Got a pretty nasty splitter. So their rotation right now is shaping up to be Scherzer, Evaldi, John Gray, Andrew Heaney, and Dane Dunning, and then he'll be back. So, $11 million a year. They're not going to go out and sign Jordan Montgomery. I don't know what he's going to command on the open market. Probably a pretty good deal. I did see also yesterday in the news and notes that the Dodgers reportedly are not in on basically one pitcher and one pitcher only, and that is one Blake Snell. They are not interested in Blake Snell. I think
it's interesting because every pitcher has had immense interest from everyone except
Blake Snell.
The market for Blake Snell,
it's softening.
Is kind of soft.
Yeah, it is. And
is it Scott Boras is just asking for too much?
I think so. I think that has a big part of it with the Dodgers. They don't really do it. My father-in-law, again, I mentioned earlier, is a Dodger fan, and he was telling me last night, he's like, look, the Boras and Bellinger situation with the Dodgers really turned their stomachs after a while, and they just wanted nothing to do with it again. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know that would preclude me from or prohibit me from going and signing a pitcher I thought that could help my rotation, like Blake Snell definitely could. And the thing is they bolstered their bullpen as well. I saw Dodger fans go, good, we don't need him. He's only going to go 5 innings. And I'm like, that's pretty much all you need from Blake Snell, really, 5-6 innings. And again, if they don't trust
this open the door?
It has
to a conversation back here in San Diego again.
Absolutely has to. But you can't do a $25 million a year deal for Blake Snell. You just can't do it. Right? Under these constraints, if those constraints are real, you can't do it.
Let me lay out this scenario. I know we got to get to our look back here, but clearly Scott Boras doesn't want to take a below market value deal for one of his players. That's not what he's all about. But if you're not getting the kind of offers you want, the only way you can ever justify taking what looks like a team-friendly deal, if you're a Scott Boras guy, is, well, Blake just loved it in San Diego so much, and I always want to do what's best for my client. And, we know what the Padres have been going through, but Blake wanted to be here, and Well, I mean, is there any chance that happens? Any chance at all? With Scott Boras, it still seems like a long shot.
It just feels like it feels like a huge loss for Scott Boras. You guys coming off of a Cy Young award. And again, I know looking at the numbers, you look and he is the definition of, well, is that sustainable? The only thing I guess I would say about Blake Snell is how he's changed his mentality entirely and that's because of Ruben Niebla, of not caring if he walks a guy, not beating himself up about it, knowing he has the ability to go out and get the next 3 guys out on 9 pitches, if he can lock it in. But I think a team would obviously be nervous about committing $25, $30 million a year for that.
I've so already braced myself for so long that Blake is gone and talked myself into thinking it's fine. I never even really stopped to think about
what if?
Yeah, I mean, have a cool Cy Young presentation for him and in the first series of the season and enjoying and having Blake back. And if he did come back going, is there a way that he does just carry that momentum over from next season? And instead of the normal slow April and May that he trucks through next year like he did this year and posts a 1.8 ERA all year long and backs it up again. I mean, It seems unlikely to me, but it's certainly possible. It's not impossible.
If I'm him, and I think about some of the teams that are out there that haven't really done a lot, that may have some money to spend. I don't know what the Mets' plan is. I do see them with the potential to overpay, especially if the Yankees get Yamamoto. Or if the Giants get Yamamoto, I could see the Giants and Farhan saying, let me just swallow my pride here and get Blake Snell reunited with Bob Melvin. I don't know how their relationship was, but, man, if I'm Blake Snell, don't I want to pitch with a guy like Ruben Niebla that helped me get there? I don't know if that comfortability is worth $10 million or anything like that, so I'm not saying he should even consider signing a deal back here if it's not for what he's worth. But it's just tough, man. And
I mean, a rotation, though, with Snell, Musgrove, Darvish, Michael King, and then
one of the other guys.
And then one of the other guys. It's pretty good rotation.
It's not bad. Not bad.
That's a pretty good starting rotation with 3 superstar players to anchor your lineup. You can start dreaming on a pretty good season there.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to get to traffic. I can't believe you guys prank called a diner in Alabama while I was on vacation. Yeah, correct?
Sure did.
All right. Well,
first time we've done it.
Our look back to July of 2023 coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicki Pepper.
805 north at 43rd, a crash in the second lane from the left. 56 west at Camino del Sur, a wreck in the center divider. You're on your brakes from Black Mountain Road. Also got a lot of vehicles on the eastbound off-ramp. I'm Vicki Pepper with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, go ahead. You can set it up, Paulie.
Okay.
I wasn't here. I'm looking at both of these guys during traffic going, I was on vacation when you did this. I don't know how you had the idea.
So here's what happened.
I have no idea what you did. I was gone. I just know you're making fun of me.
Since nobody wants to look at their rundown. Ben had admitted before going on vacation that he had never made a prank phone call.
Never once.
True.
Among many things
that he never did.
He missed out on in his childhood.
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
That's like a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage.
I never wanted to. I still don't want to.
Well, you
did.
So we went into the Beat Laboratory.
We took it upon ourselves to give you the youth that you missed, the childhood memories that you missed out on.
Now,
and had you prank someone.
Woodsy, how can you do a prank phone call with Ben when he's not here?
No problem. It's the old soundboard, and we put it together, and we tried to keep it as true to you, the person, as we could. And
I think we did a pretty good job.
I do too. And we called
How did you decide on this? You called.
We randomly went to
Another Broken Egg Cafe in Fairhope, Alabama.
Yeah, we just Googled.
We thought Alabama. We just kind of zoomed in on Google Maps.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we just said Alabama would be funny.
Date egg. Another Broken Egg.
Here's Ben.
Thank you for calling Another Broken Egg in Fairhope. This is Marissa. How can I help you?
Good morning. I'm excited.
For what?
What was the score of the Aztecs game?
I don't really watch sports.
The first half, the Aztecs dominated. Maybe the best half they've played all season. I got called out by my 19-year-old last night.
You got what?
I got called out.
This poor girl.
To choose, though, Reese Kinnear as the person to set the tone in your game, to me, is an indictment of a couple of things.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
How is it hanging? I like good, firm banana.
What?
The Lakers shot 57% as a team and still lost that game.
It's done. Absolutely done with it. The whole thing. Just naming sports events. Oh, I loved it so much. I felt so bad for her. I did have to call her back and apologize and let her know.
We did call her back.
What went on. Yeah.
Matt says, I just spit coffee out all over my monitors, and I've heard this 4 times already. What was the score of the Aztecs game?
Reese Kinnear murders me every time.
To choose, though, Reese Kinnear as the person to set the tone in your game, to me, is an indictment of a couple of things.
That's right. That's exactly right. You're going to hear that same take next year about somebody else. I promise you. The way things are going.
That poor lady.
Right now.
I mean, it sounded like it was busy there.
It was a little busy. It's the thing about prank calls, man. Yeah. I don't want to ruin anybody's day, but she laughed and was very cool, and I said, I'm so sorry.
Do you want to play the second prank call?
Yeah, we can play the second one.
We did it about a week later.
Yep.
People loved the first one. Yep. We focused a lot more on food.
Yeah, a lot of food
in the second one. We called a local deli.
Crossroads Deli.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Can I take your order?
How is it hanging?
Can I take your order, please?
I like eating.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. You called the right place. Number 45.
I like a good thin
Number
pancake.
40. You like a what, sir? I'm sorry?
I like a good thin pancake.
A thin pancake? We don't have pancakes here, sir. You called a sandwich shop.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza.
I've got a barbecue chicken sandwich special, which we have on Thursdays this week.
I really like Fritos.
I have Dirty Brand chips, which are great, but we don't offer any of the Frito-Lay products. I'm so sorry.
Anything cream cheese based?
I got a bagel and cream cheese. That's about the best I could do for you.
I like fried Brussels sprouts.
Not at a sandwich shop, sir. We got meat, cheese, between bread, some vegetables, but yeah, that's not a vegetable we'll put on a sandwich.
Let me ask you, what was the score of the Aztecs game? Why does the sports takes always get them to hang out?
Oh, my God.
I'm surprised the first girl didn't hang up on I like a good firm banana.
Yeah.
That sounds inappropriate to me, actually, now that I hear it again in my ears.
We have to do it again at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it just makes me laugh so much. So now you finally got to do, Ben,
how do you feel?
A couple of prank calls.
Embarrassed.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're the best. And
I feel bad for the poor workers at the counter.
I did
busy.
too.
It's rush hour. You can tell they're both busy. They've got
Some
things
guy
going on.
talking about Reese
Someone's
Kinnear.
wasting 4 minutes out of their day. They're probably the boss is probably mad at them. Like, why is there a line here at the counter? You've been on the phone for 4 minutes.
Take the guy's order.
Take the order. What are you doing wrong?
Oh, he's talking Lakers right now. I can't, and the Aztecs. I can't. I gotta get off the phone. I'm very proud of you for doing that. It's been many years.
What was the score of the Aztecs game?
I don't really watch sports.
It's the best,
girl.
Dude.
Poor girl.
It was like so nerve-wracking to do those that we've only done 2. I don't know
We were
how.
sweating.
I was pouring sweat that day, but I'm very very happy about it. Yamamoto news, Ben. He is meeting with the Philadelphia Phillies now. Seeming, I know he met with the Dodgers, and he's had a couple of East Coast meetings. They're saying, is going to command like $300 million.
Yeah.
He's 5'9" and is going to make $300 million.
I'm surprised that I know he's been connected to the Yankees, but now that they've traded so much pitching to the Padres, you feel like that they're going to have to jump in with some serious pitching at some point.
Absolutely, they will. Absolutely, man. So they did. I mean, they traded a piece of their rotation.
One that they liked.
That they liked.
That they were, they would have had counted on Michael King for quite a solid part of their rotation this year.
Well, and we will be asking, Kyle Higashioka next about some of these pitchers that the Padres acquired. I want to know all about these guys. I'm very excited for this interview and can't wait to get to know them.
Yeah, looking forward to that first chance to chat with one of these new players that came over in the Juan Soto deal. I'm just curious. We learned, I didn't know, Kyle Higashioka was a member of the Yankees organization for, 16 years?
16.
Yeah. 16 years. What's it like when you get the call? Like,
I know.
You've been traded now.
100%.
That's 16 years, and now you're going to a different organization. We chat. Kyle Higashioka coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan, about to be joined by Padres catcher Kyle Higashioka. Very excited, Benjamin.
Do you have an update on some of the news that was breaking yesterday? It is now official. Right-hander Tyler Glasnow and the Los Angeles Dodgers, according to Jeff Passan, are finalizing a 5-year, $135 million contract once the deal is complete. The trade of Glasnow and Manuel Margot from the Rays to the Dodgers for Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca will be official.
I said I had heard 3 years, $100 million, 5 years, $135.
That's $27 million per year.
Yeah.
It's nothing nowadays. Pretty
Piece of
much,
cake.
just another affordable contract out there right now. All right, let's go out. Looking forward to this.
Very excited.
I don't know that we've ever had a first-time guest that had his own walk-up music.
Well, he's a professional baseball player, and he gets his own walk-up music.
We welcome new Padres catcher Kyle Higashioka to Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Kyle, welcome to the flagship Padres station. You're on Ben Woods, Paul, this morning. It's great to have you. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
It's our pleasure. Wanted to make you feel right at home with a little tool. I know you walked up to Numa last year amongst some other songs, and I got to tell you, Kyle, I saw your video going around of you absolutely shredding Iron Maiden's The Trooper, and I said to myself, this is my guy. I play guitar. I love music. We talk a lot of music on this show as well. So you still playing a lot?
Yeah. I usually keep a guitar in the clubhouse, and I have like headphone amps to just keep the noise down for whoever my locker mates are. I think Benintendi got me them one year. I think he might have been a little tired of hearing me play. So,
so when you start, and I guess you don't know this because you've never really been on a new team. Do you walk in day one with your full rig and be like, "I'm here, and I hope you guys like Tool and Iron Maiden because I'm not stopping"?
No, I think that's maybe down the road.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fair. He's taking it step by step here.
Day two.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you right off the bat. I didn't realize. So you were drafted by the Yankees and were with that organization for 16 years. When you get the call, and I don't know if it was Cashman or who lets you know that the trade went down, what is that? What's that feeling like to know that the team that you've known for so many years, it's now time to move on to a different organization?
It's definitely going to be new. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I came up through that system and I played for many years, and I was actually, by the time I left, I was there for longer than most of the coaches and staff even. So I mean, it's definitely it was definitely a place of comfort for me. But I'm looking forward to this new challenge with the Padres, and I think I'm walking into a absolutely fantastic lineup, and the entire roster looks great. So I can't wait.
Talking to Kyle Higashioka, newest Padres catcher here on Ben and Woods this morning. If you could give us a little bit of insight as to the guys that we got back, because number one, and I know Michael King spoke about, like, hey man, it was kind of an honor to be traded for Juan Soto. Juan Soto, obviously a great player, but the guys that the Padres got back, including yourself, Michael King, Drew Thorpe, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, we've heard about them is what we've read. You've actually probably caught all or most of these guys. Give us a little insight into a couple of these guys.
Yeah, so obviously Michael King is a fantastic pitcher. You can see that by the numbers, and there's no denying that he's a good one. But I mean, as far as Brito and Vasquez go, they're a little less known, and they were rookies last year, but I thought they were fantastic, especially for being their first year in the big leagues in a tough division and on a very tough stage. I was really impressed with both of them. I think both of them came in with confidence. They know how to attack the zone. They know how to use their pitches well and put guys away. So I think they're only going to get better. And I was They were two of the guys where I loved seeing them come in the game, because I knew that I could get guys out multiple ways with them. The pitch package is excellent. They both have sinkers, four seams, breaking balls, changeups. So I mean, they have a multitude of ways to get guys out, and they know how to do it. I believe pretty well for how inexperienced they are. So I'm very high on both those guys. And then I've only seen Thorpe's videos, but I mean he looks legit too.
Kyle, as much as we try not to as fans, we always consider your baseball cards and you're our fantasy players, but you're also real people. Do you think that because you know some of these guys that are coming with you, it'll make it a little bit easier to transition when you get to the Padres here in spring training?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the biggest benefits is I think I can be able to help the staff and Campy and Sully learn the new pitchers as well, kind of give them a leg up, and I'll be relying on them to help me out with the other guys too. And I think we'll be able to work together and really get this staff going.
Talking to Kyle Higashioka here on Ben and Woods this morning. Have you had a chance to talk to your new skipper, Mike Schilt? How did those conversations go? What insight could you tell us about that?
Yeah, he called me a couple days after the trade, and I mean, from what I hear about him, I hear a lot of guys love playing for him, and that he's a great manager. And just from our talk together, I got a really good feeling from him. So I think it's going to be a good year.
From afar, when you've kind of seen what the Padres organization has been doing the last few years, obviously things a little bit different than some of the other teams in terms of the contracts they've given out and players they signed. What was your perception of the Padres kind of before you got over here to this team?
You can be honest, too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I mean, the Padres have made a huge splash in the free agent market the past few years, and so when I actually heard I was getting traded to the Padres, I was stoked because I could be going to a terrible team, and as a catcher, that's no fun at all. You're just getting you're getting beat down every single day and whatnot. But I mean, I really think this is an excellent team that we have here in San Diego, and so I'm so excited to get started.
Kyle Higashioka joins us here this morning. I was kind of scrolling around your Twitter and noticed that you are a surfer. So I wanted to let you know.
You're coming back to California.
You're coming back to California. You're going to be, I mean, look, New York is amazing. It's an amazing
The
city,
waves are incredible.
But the waves there, not even close to what you're going to experience here, as you already know.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in California, so I actually didn't start surfing until I was in pro ball, but I surfed a lot when I lived in California. So it was, it's just something that's so fun, and it requires a lot of balance, a lot of skill. You got to read the wave, and for me, it was tough enough just figuring out which way to go.
It's so hard. It's such a difficult thing to do. I've been here 14 years. I've tried. I'm no good. I'm probably too fat to do it, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I know a lot of people enjoy it, and I know you will too. So do you have any connections with anybody on the squad? Has anybody reached out? I'm always curious as how that goes because, we do talk about, when people get uprooted and they got to move and you want, you got some guys coming with you, but anybody else you've played with, against, that you're really excited to play with?
Yeah, I mean, so I've played with Prony a little bit we played together in the AAA All-Star game in 19, I believe, and then Carp I played with a couple years ago, and then so those two guys actually reached out, and that was really cool, and but I played against Bogarts and Machado for many years, and I can't tell you how happy I am to not have to call pitches against them.
One thing everyone seems to like when they move from like a team like the Yankees to the Padres, spring training in Arizona versus Florida. 100%. It's one thing ball players always tell me. Spring training in Arizona is much, much better. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have very much experience with that. I mean, last year I was there for a little bit. But for as far as the full spring training goes, I don't really have much experience, but I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think you're going to like it a lot. Kyle Higashioka here on Ben and Woods. Now, your Twitter handle says Higster, but are you Higgy?
Yeah, I mean, 99% of people call me Higgy. So
our co-host,
Higgy was not available when I made my Twitter.
That's what we kind of guessed yesterday.
I have the same problem. My last name is Higgins. I'm also some people call me Higgy at least. Mark Loretta always calls me Higgy
and
for sure.
Mud Grant, yeah.
So and Mud Grant always calls me Higgy. So I've got a fellow Higgy joining me here in San Diego, which I appreciate.
And we're going to be doing some Higgy v Higgy trivia at some point, probably at spring training. I just have to craft up.
I can't surf. I can't play the guitar.
No, you know nothing about music,
and I certainly don't know how to catch a major league pitching staff. So you got me on pretty much every count right now, Kyle. You're coming in here well ahead of the game.
Oh no, it'll be fun. I'm very, very much looking forward to starting life with the Padres.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man. We certainly appreciate your time this morning. Looking forward to seeing what you and all the new guys can do. I mean, it's the thing that I know we needed the most, and we needed some dynamic arms and somebody to play with Campy. And Campy's been so much fun to watch. You coming in right now, have you had a chance to meet him, talk to him yet?
I haven't reached out to him yet, but I was planning on it soon.
Cool.
Kind of when the dust settles a little bit, because I'm still trying to get on the same page with some of the coaches, trainers, everyone. So it's been a little whirlwind lately, but when it settles down here in a week or so, I'll reach out to some more of the guys.
Well, we will see you. We'll be out there for like a week early in spring training. We don't have our dates yet, but we'll be the dummies sitting at a table outside early in the morning with microphones.
Frozen
so
solid.
wave high as you walk in from the parking lot. You'll see us there.
Should I bring a guitar? I mean, just
really?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, he needs a drummer. He needs a bass player.
He shreds guitar just fine.
I know, but he needs help. He needs the accompaniment.
I just want to see you shred the Trooper just one time. One of our audience said, can he play the national anthem, and would he at before a game? And I thought, man, this guy's caught a perfect game, a no-hitter. That would be probably more nerve-wracking for you than getting on a baseball field, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'd say just because I lack the repetition to really have a ton of confidence in that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they won't let you play the Trooper for the national anthem.
Hendricks v. Higashioka instead of Higgy v. Higgy. We can compare how you do. Well, Kyle, we look forward to meeting you in person. Welcome to the San Diego Padres. Padres fans excited to have you, and looking forward to next season. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it.
There he is, Kyle Higashioka, Padres' new catcher. Looking forward to him coming over in the trade from the New York Yankees.
I just want to bring like a little acoustic, my baby Taylor, and see if he can just shred acoustic for us. I'll do it. You think he would do it?
I wouldn't see why not. Spring training's a perfect spot for that.
Cold out there. It's cold out there.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to bring a guitar down to Petco Park if we're going to talk to him on the field or something.
No.
We should have him over to the Airbnb one night, and you guys can shred, and we can record it and do a whole thing.
In a heartbeat. In an absolute, I will do full Bruce Dickinson, the Trooper.
Can I play the triangle?
And you can play whatever you want.
Cowbell. More cowbell?
He's great, man. I'm excited to see him. Excited to hear about more about the young new guys, and I like what he said. I like what he said about especially the three guys that are expected to make this roster right out of spring training in King and Brito and Vasquez. There's going to be some confidence there with those guys already. So very cool.
Obviously thinks very highly of Manny and Bogarts from having to go up against them for years and years as a Yankee against the Orioles and Red Sox. So he does have that experience coming in. All right, don't forget, tonight it's Friday, so you can tune in to Kickoff with Boomer Esiason and Mike Valente at 6 p.m. each week. They preview the entire slate of NFL games, give you their picks. It's also live on the free Odyssey app, presented nationally by Casamigos Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos, brought to you by those who drink it, and by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. We'll be back. Padres still quiet, all quiet on the Padres front right now, outside of the Juan Soto trade. Get you updated next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, something a little different. We tell you about 7 Mile Casino. It's our place to play. So great, so easy to get to all the time. But we've also been telling you how they're such a big supporter of our show, our Tier 1s, and our San Diego community. And we got Brad, our friend Brad from 7 Mile is with us here right now with a little special announcement. Brad, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How is it going? Happy Friday.
Going so well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, anytime we get to participate with you guys and, help the community out a little bit, it puts a smile on our face. It's what we're all about.
We appreciate you guys for everything.
Well, look, we appreciate it. We were, the minute you guys were announced that we're coming to the radio station, we said we want to be with you. It's not just because you do great stuff that entertains people every single day. It's that you care. It's that you do stuff within the community, that you're helping out. And, that's the kind of, that's the kind of content, that's the kind of team we want to be a part of. And, what has it been like 5 years of this? 5 years of doing this together. So, it's honestly a pleasure to be a part of your ecosystem. We appreciate it.
On a just a quick related note, it was Brad who told me to try the Kung Pao chicken for the first time at Sammy's at 7 Mile. Now my favorite dish ever. So thank you for that, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, look, the food at Sammy's is legendary. I mean, it's been a part of San Diego for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And so, us having an opportunity to have a Sammy's inside 7 Mile, not just serving, great food, but, great atmosphere, good vibes. And, it's great that, our players can also eat at the tables. It's not just, just in the restaurant. So, we try to make it good for everybody.
Well, Brad, thank you and 7 Mile for your support. We totally appreciate it. The Tier 1s do as well, and have a happy holiday, very Merry Christmas season. Thank you so much.
You guys too. Merry Christmas.
Don't forget, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown. I will credit our boss Adam with a little insight here, texted over the break. By the way, thanks again to Kyle Higashioka, new catcher for the Padres, who just joined us in our last segment. It was fun to get to know Kyle a little bit. Surfer, guitar player, catcher extraordinaire. Adam texted, I can't help but think the Padres erred in not picking up Michael Wacha's contract option. I agree 100% right now. Based on not the Tyler Glasnow contract. I mean, he's an elite, when healthy, starting pitcher, and the Dodgers are now giving him a $27 million per year contract extension. Although, shocker, we find out during the break. Well, there's some bonus money that's being converted, and they're changing things to extend the salary cap hit. They're driving through another loophole.
Bro, they're like Al Capone. Good God. Al Capone didn't evade taxes this badly.
It's actually, it was the Jack Flaherty deal that was announced yesterday. 1 year, $14 million to the Tigers for Jack Flaherty, a pitcher who had a 5 ERA last year. Michael Wacha is coming off back-to-back seasons, much better than that. Terrific record each year, terrific ERA each year. And you could have had him locked down for 2 years, 16 per year. So $2 million more than Jack Flaherty for this season for the next 2 years. Yes, he's got some injury concerns and he's a risk, but that would be a valuable commodity to have in your stable right now. Even if you didn't really want to pay that much, there's teams that would likely trade for him now at this point.
It's just
at
wild.
At that price point, yes.
It's just wild that, I don't know if it's reluctance to pull the trigger. I don't know if it's directed not to pull the trigger. I really don't know. I don't know if AJ's cooking up something big. I don't know if he's looking at the bottom of the bargain bin pile. I really have no idea.
The pitching market wouldn't get this expensive. Everyone knew it would be somewhat expensive.
It always is.
It is gone to levels that maybe we did not foresee it getting to this off season.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Wacha, even Martinez at 16 isn't looking that bad anymore. Yeah, what did Nick sign for? 13?
Oh, Nick was.
What did he sign?
What the hell was his deal?
15, with the Reds,
15 a year, is that right?
13. I want to say 13 maybe for Nick.
Four
that
years,
16 would have been an overpay for Nick. I'm not sure it is now for Michael Wacha
2 years,
anymore.
26, so 13.
So 13 million. So 16 would have been an overpay for Nick. Not sure it would be for Michael Wacha at this point. He may get more than that now in free agency on the open market. And I wonder if the Padres would have been smarter to pick up that option now.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would. I really didn't a couple of months ago.
You're getting desperate. I'm getting desperate. We're getting desperate. That the desperation. It's not even Christmas yet. All right, so there's still time, but there's only a finite number of players you can actually go out and sign. Now you can trade, you can work deals, and you can take flyers. And I firmly believe today, as we sit, unless something major comes down, in the next week or so, I firmly believe we may be in the flyer camp.
And I'm totally hindsighting this one because I
100%.
promise you, had they picked up Michael Wacha's option, I would have gone, wow, that's a massive overpay. What about his injury history? Every year, shoulder trouble that he had last year. Is he really that dominant? Are you 16 million? Are you kidding me? You could go and spend that money on better
whoever,
pitching,
yeah.
someone else. You have so many needs this offseason. I would not have been happy. I would have criticized it. Now, in hindsight, I'm looking at that as potentially a missed opportunity for the San Diego Padres to have guaranteed them something of value that other teams might have also seen as valuable at this point, which gives you options that you would have liked to have had now.
Yeah, I agree. Options are fantastic. There's really no idea what the direction is. There's still names out there. I'm not quite panicked yet, but it is a bit. You do feel a bit desperate. We're so accustomed to seeing some move. You're hoping, you're praying that, oh no, we're going to be really smart and we've got some stuff cooking that nobody knows about, and we're going to shock the world. Not by going out and getting a Yamamoto, but by going out and getting. Maybe somebody that wasn't on somebody's radar, trading for potential frontline starter type, top three guy in the rotation. I mean, anything's possible. We should have a tiny little bit of faith, I think, because we have seen some things materialize that we weren't expecting, Ben. So I think it's fair to say, we should have a little bit of faith. There's nothing. We're not dead yet. by any stretch. But
Well, okay. We should have faith that AJ is going to figure out a way to make some moves this offseason. I don't know that he's earned some faith that those moves will turn out to put a winning team that wins 93 games on the field. But
I will disagree with you just slightly for half of that. Pitching wise, I think he's earned a little bit of trust.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I think he's earned a little bit of trust there. Go out and get the next Waka and the next Lugo for a quarter of the price. Can he do that? Yes. Has he proven that he can do that? Yes.
And again, we've talked about this before. You don't want to sign a bunch of guys who are mediocre, who are then going to block the promising young players that you have coming up, that you have kind of not in the past given opportunities to, because you signed all these other players and then you haven't had room for them. At some point, you do need to make room for younger players. That's not a white flag. That's not a give up. That's a strategy. And it's one that other teams have used to great effect. And because they've been a little more patient, perhaps, with some of their younger players and looked ahead and gone, all right, we don't need to actually fill this role for 3 years because we got someone who's going to be up later this year. What can we do to, keep that spot warm, but have it ready for one of our young guys who is coming up that needs that opportunity?
Yeah, but then what does that do for 2024? You do need to field a competitive team in 2024. You have to. If you're right now, if you're Eric Katsenda and you're AJ Preller and you're Eric Grupner, go to our chat. If you're bored, go to YouTube, search Ben and Woods, and log into our chat, guys. You don't have to hear from me. The rank and file are telling you. The season ticket holders are telling you. Like, this can't be one of those give-up type seasons here. And you never really feel, that you're out of it because you have guys that you like and guys that you're paying a lot of money to. But after that, it gets a little bit lean. And so, I don't know, Ben, that you can say, well, 2025 is going to be elite because of Robbie Snelling and Dylan Lesko and Iriarte. And, I'm excited about those guys as the next guy, 100%. But there's a it's staggered. All those guys will be on limits. Are they really going to succeed? There's a lot of what ifs.
But
and I know that there's a lot of what ifs.
Is it smarter to get a stopgap versus a Cody Bellinger?
That's the question. Is the stopgap
Is Jurickson Profar going to be in the starting lineup for the Padres on opening day?
Correct. I don't know.
Will they sign him, put him out there, and go, we're not really counting on you for a whole season, but we need someone who can at least get us by for a few months until we're ready to bring up some of the younger kids.
Correct.
And does that mean you're punting on the season? I don't think so. I don't think so.
It doesn't necessarily signify a punt.
It's that you're not a finished product on opening day.
Correct.
Which they're not going to be.
No.
All right.
It'd be very hard to be.
Craig Elston is going to join us. Final visit of the year with our friend, 619 Sports, the Crossing Streams podcast. A final recommendation before we go into our holiday break after next Wednesday. That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
This is actually unbelievable. I'm actually.
We have 2 bits of breaking news.
You took my breath away when you read that.
I think first and foremost, finally, after 2 hours, we've come up with the peanut butter-based snack that Woods was trying to think of this morning.
Peanut butter boppers.
We both ate in the 1980s growing up. Yes, peanut butter boppers.
Staggeringly
I
delicious.
ate those as well.
I mean, look at me.
Exist.
You know I ate those. Those things are amazing. Peanut butter boppers.
So a little more timely, in our last segment, we were talking about whether or not the Padres erred in not picking up Michael Wacha's contract option, which would have been 2 years, $16 million per year for the next 2 seasons. Wondering whether that was something he would probably get on the open market now somewhere else.
We thought maybe more, depending on what guys we're getting.
Maybe. So while we were during the break, breaking news.
2 seconds
Jeff
after we went to
Passan,
break.
Right-handed starter Michael Wacha and the Kansas City Royals are in agreement on a 2-year, $32 million contract, a source tells ESPN.
Cool.
He also, and he has done a little bit better than that because he got an opt-out after the first season as well.
Yeah.
So he gets his Padres could have gotten him $232 without the opt-out. Royals had to give him the opt-out, but the exact same price tag that the Padres could have had him at. Now, I don't know that the Royals would have traded for him at that price tag, but that was the price tag, and that's what the Padres could have had him at. So the old, they can. I mean, I remember our discussion. Yeah, you can come together with a $12 million maybe for Wacha, somewhere in between. He's not going to get 16 out there in this economy. No way. No.
Got it.
He got it. He got it from the big spenders. Can never keep up with the Royals in Kansas City, who get Lugo and Wacha together again, but now in the Midwest next season.
Buddy Mazzone said, please stop mentioning free agents. They all sign with the Royals. Blake Snell is going to love KC barbecue.
Should the Padres have extended Blake Snell? Breaking news!
He's
Blake
a
Snell
Royal.
has signed with the Kansas City Royals. Do you think they're just listening to our show?
Maybe.
And every time we bring up a player, they're
Sign
going,
him.
we got
Get him.
to sign that guy.
Get him.
It's a Ben and Woods talking about him. He's ours.
Man.
Make
All right.
the offer now.
That's it's the Kansas City Padres out there. It's pretty nuts.
All right, we got Craig Elston coming up. Our final Crossing Stream segment of the year, right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicky Pepper.
56 East at Camino del Sur, an earlier wreck still has you on your brakes as you come away from Carmel Valley Road. I'm Vicky Pepper with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go out and pleased to welcome once again our friend Craig Elston, the Crossing Streams podcast, the San Diego Sockers, Padres Hot Tub. He is all over the place, and glad to have him on Ben and Woods here on Fridays. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, gentlemen. Last one for me this year because there's no Friday show next week. So there's my holiday spirit for
Thank you. Well, he's wearing Christmas lights around his neck.
Did you find yourself maybe a few weeks ago, or did you ever think, I'm about to be very jealous of the Kansas City Royals going out and getting 2/5 of the San Diego Padres rotation from last year, and they picked up old buddy Hunter Renfroe? That was a whatever deal. But Lugo, Waka, now Royals. Padres very, very dormant right now, Craig.
Yeah. I'm really frustrated with this news. And everyone's like talking about, I think I just lost you guys.
We can hear you still. You just look like a galaxy far, far away on our YouTube stream, but we can still hear you just fine. So continue to talk.
Okay, sorry.
We got you.
You know what they say? Never look at the chat. I was looking at the chat. They were all saying I had an echo. I don't know what to do about that, guys.
Continue.
That's a good way to get through life.
Talk to Paulie.
Don't look at the chat. Yeah.
Part 1. You guys just said it. I'll just underline it because it's obvious. This was a mistake by AJ Preller. Like, he's going to have to fill a spot and probably pay more than $16 million a year to get a pitcher who might not be as good as Michael Wacha, to be honest with you. Combine that with the fact that if you just matched Seth Lugo's price, you could have at $31 million a year finished the rotation completely and not had to worry about how much Blake Snell would cost if you're going to try and wade back into those waters or anything else. You would have had cost certainty for 2 mid-30s starters. Now, clearly, the Padres didn't value Michael Wacha at $16 million a year. And maybe after a year of their training staff working with him and his shoulder, the consensus back from them was, it's probably not worth it, guys.
Yeah.
He might miss half of next season. So I generally like moves that seem to be smart and prudent, but gosh, that's the only thing we've had as a Padre fan to hang our hat on the entire winter. This has got to be a bottom 3 all-time Padres winter so far in terms of everyone else going everywhere else. It's also one of the cuckoo winters of all time in terms of the value that's out there. But if people are like, oh, well, go get Stroman, go get Snow, definitely Wacha plus Lugo is going to be about the cost of any of those pitchers.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, and because it's all about. I've seen a lot of takes. It's Twitter, and you see a lot of takes. That's what it's for, and you see trust me, we're being smart. We're finally being smart.
Isn't this what we've been asking for AJ for years? Stop overpaying on the free agents and start developing your own players. Now maybe it's doing it, and it's driving us crazy.
But it's a fine because it's what have you done for me lately, right? We've seen but again, nobody's saying you have to go out and sign Yamamoto. It may be great, but we don't expect that, right? But you do need to, at some point, address some of the holes, not only on your coaching staff, but also on your roster as well, Craig. And so I don't know where I fall as far as what camp I'm in. I'm typically leaning to the camp of we got to get active here. Let's go. We can't sit here quietly. Not the only team though that's not doing much. I mean, I looked at the Astros and their offseason moves. Now they have a good team. They usually do. They've signed their offseason so far as Victor Caratini for 2 years.
They just won the World Series.
Yeah, fair. Well, yeah, they did. But,
they just won the World Series.
You know what I'm saying?
They have a World Series roster.
They do have a World Series-ish roster. But you know what I'm saying. Like, a lot of teams are dormant right now. It's weird to see us being dormant.
Well, it's troubling because, I'll stand by saying, actually, when you look at it now, within the framework of the marketplace, the Soto trade just makes more and more and more sense.
Sure.
All of the guaranteed innings at low cost that were acquired when now everybody is worth $13 million a year, apparently. Like Hunter Renfrow. And like we have to start to maybe adjust things the way that NBA fans do. We're like, yes, of course, Jared Vanderbilt is worth $23 million a year. That's a bargain. Like, that kind of, I was just thinking about this today in terms of Royals and contracts. When I was in high school, we were outraged when 2 Padres signed with the Royals. This has happened in the past. Do you remember this? 1989, Storm Davis signed at that time one of the biggest free agent contracts ever. It was 3 years, $6 million. Wow. And then, a couple decades later, along comes Shohei Ohtani at the exact same cost.
Yeah, right.
So
they sold Mark Davis, right? The Cy Young Award winner from the Padres.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was both. Storm Davis was acquired and Mark Davis.
Okay.
Mark Davis had just won the Cy Young. He signed for 4 years, $13 million, which was another gigantic deal. And actually, both of those were giant flops that are considered some of the worst signings in Royals history. So let's hope that Lugo and Waka can follow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cheer against either of those guys, but you're right, Craig, when you said the Padres had an up-close look at Michael Waka and the numbers he put up, but also what was going on behind the scenes and the shoulder and everything, and maybe they just made a calculated decision that was not a direction that they wanted to go here this offseason. Before we get to our Crossing Streams recommendation, give us your thoughts on the Dodgers this week and everything they've done. I mean, obviously they're better with Ohtani and probably better with Glass now. They're spending a ton of money. They're finding every loophole in baseball possible to keep the luxury tax number as low as they can so they can add more players. It's clearly impacting the division and the sport, what they're doing this week.
Okay. One thing on Ohtani, one thing on Glass now. All right. And I want to be clear that it's because we're in a San Diego market, you could be like, okay, you're a this, you're that,
you're
bigger,
coping.
you're whatever. I want to be clear. This has been my opinion for 2 years that the next contract for Shohei Ohtani is not going to be great for the team that signs it or agrees to it. Shohei Ohtani, the past 3 years, past 4 years, if you want to go back, has done something that's never happened in baseball history. He's done something that physically a human being hasn't done before. The ability to play full time both ways, pitch, take the mound, start, and then be a hitter every other day of the week. And doing that in the United States has led his elbow to go twice. Tommy John and a procedure, according to him yesterday, which is probably known as Tommy John, just without saying it. So he did that in the prime of his athletic career, the absolute prime of his athletic career. Can he do that in his 30s? Well, it's never, ever been done before. And already his arm has taken the toll of 2 ligament replacements in 5 years. So I just don't know. And I'm not rooting, like you say, I don't root against, one of the greatest showmen in baseball of all time. But the odds of it, like, people don't really think about that part. Like, how long can he really keep this going? He's a huge guy. He has put a lot of strain on that body. Tiger Woods at one point, Ben, was an absolute shoo-in to break Jack Nicklaus's record. And he could not physically make it to the finish line. A great big, tower of a man. We know about the car crash. We know about external factors. It's not a 1v1 comparison. But Ohtani is doing something that's never been done before. Can he keep doing it? They're paying on that right. They'll keep paying for it for 20 years. Fascinating. Okay, Glass now, very quickly. If you told me that the Padres traded for and signed Tyler Glasnow to a 5-year, $135 million contract, I would be nervous, I would be terrified, and I would have been against the move. Period. So good on you, Dodgers. I'm sure he'll shove with that curveball. I'd like some lefty balance in our lineup against a guy like Glasnow.
That's the one difference. The Dodgers, maybe the Yankees, that even the Padres don't have, even the high-spending Padres, they can take risks that other teams can't take. Yep. Because if they fail, it doesn't cripple them the way it cripples other teams. That's right. They can take that risk.
Yeah, well, it's all down to a $7.8 billion Time Warner contract. That's what the difference is in baseball right now. It's the Yes Network and it's the Spectrum Sportsnet deal for the Dodgers. And guess what? Dodgers fans, half of them haven't been able to watch their team throughout the entirety of that deal. The deal is going to collapse under its own weight at some point because that business model is collapsing across
But it's the
professional
biggest
sports.
safety net in sports right now, and the Dodgers have it.
They got it.
Industry changer completely. And it's so, the Dodgers, I couldn't believe all the national writers. Look at that. Look at that money machine on the corner that's spitting out fountains of cash. This is why they can do these crazy things. And will it succeed? Hey, they're going to have a great team. Congrats. They've had a great team
They always
for
have a great
15
team.
years?
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Big deal.
The only thing that scares me.
Let's ride with Schilt. Let's win 88 games and then let's take them out in the playoffs. Let's go.
The thing that scares me about Glass now is they have the depth to, I think, to just kind of be easy with him. Kind of, you want him in October. Like that for them, they want Bueller, May, Glass now. That's so dirty in October.
Disgusting.
But they've never had anybody they've wanted in October. They never have any of them in October.
So dirty if those guys are healthy in October.
All right, Craig, Crossing Streams, last recommendation for the year, and we're going to a returning favorite for many.
Absolutely. And it's kind of pitched around Halloween, but it's got a winter feel to it as well. We're talking about Fargo on FX as well as Hulu. This is Noah Hawley's anthology series based on the Coen brothers movie Fargo, which is one of the best movies of all time. When Fargo is good, it's great. And it's kind of been in and out over 4 seasons. Season 5 is great. And it's about halfway through. There's 5 episodes up now. New episodes come out on Wednesdays. And as always, it's a true story of a crime in Minnesota to where the names have been changed to respect the dead, and out of respect to the living, and out of respect to the dead, everything's told exactly as it occurred, just like on the front of Fargo. But we're featuring Juno Temple here, Ted Lasso, etc., as Dot, who is a Minnesota nice single mom, former single mom, now happily married to a very rich man whose mother, Jennifer Jason Leigh, is a magnate in the Minnesota area. But we meet her at a school assembly gone mad, where people are kicking and punching and shoving, and she pulls a taser out of her purse and accidentally tases a cop. And this gets her into the police record, which gets her former husband to start to chase her, John Hamm. John Hamm, Mad Men, playing an absolutely over-the-top, crusty, 40 years elected MAGA sheriff in Iowa. And his son is played by Joe Keery from Stranger Things, who is just completely a slime ball, but is one of those like super fun on the screen characters that you absolutely hate. This has all the strains of classic Fargo. There's an abduction, that was planned. There's a foreign heavy who's a little bit weird and yet seemingly very tough. All of the things that made Fargo fun and great are kind of dotted in like an expert chef would add, notes to an incredible meal. But I've watched through, there's a Home Alone feel to this, because Dot is continually defending her home with gadgets and people breaking in. It's really, really fun.
The swinging
Watch the first
iron.
Episode. I think you'll be hooked on season 5 of Fargo on FX and Hulu.
The ornaments under the window.
Crushed ornaments,
the crushed
under the window. Yeah, that was always
great,
a good one.
Great bit. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you,
Craig,
man.
have a happy holiday
Merry Christmas,
season.
bud.
Thank you so much. Hoping to see more of you in 2024.
You got it, boys. I'll be there. Take care.
Craig Elston, Crossing Streams, always one of our favorites. 3 since the pandemic, right? We've been having Craig on for 4 years now. That's fantastic. Always appreciate what he brings to the program every single year. All right, we've got 1 hour left, and we got more to get to. Paulie's got some headlines from the Reindl Report coming up, including a little good news for an Aztecs alum. I know you're excited about that, Woodsy.
Why are you taking shots at me? I didn't do anything.
You're not doing anything wrong. I'm just telling everybody that you're excited about the good news for the Aztecs alum that's coming up in the Reindl Report from Paul Reindl.
It's your show, too, that they ignore. Just saying, it's your show, too.
We're going to give away some San Diego Seals tickets and continue our 2023 look back. We are now up to the month of August. What happened in August, by the way?
little bit
I
different.
know the Padres were falling apart in August. I remember that part of August quite vividly.
That was this is when I scared the audience.
We had your
to
kids
death.
in studio.
Yeah,
that
kids
was
were
fun
in
too.
studio. Always fun.
In the month of August. That was pretty good. So, last hour of the week of Ben and
Catching
Woods
shrapnel over here
is right around the corner. Do not go anywhere. It is coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. Final hour of Ben and Woods this week on 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget, coming up on Wednesday is our Christmas and holiday extravaganza. It's all the whole show. We don't talk sports at all unless something huge happens. We just celebrate the holidays with the tier ones. We bring back some old favorites. We add some new stuff to the mix every single year. This year, I won't give away what we're doing, but it's definitely bigger and better.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger.
It's going to be big.
Bigger than it has been before. Certainly in terms of our giveaways, we've never come close to giving away the kind of holiday gift cards that we're giving away to families in need this year. We've got $1,000 gift cards that we're giving out. If you want to nominate, last chance today to nominate some families in need at 973thefansd.com/holiday. We will pick some winners. We will call them on the air. You'll hear all of those coming up on Wednesday, and we have to thank our incredible sponsors who have donated all these $1,000 gift cards. We heard from Brad at 7 Mile Casino earlier today. Swami's Cafe, a spot to dine and unwind. We've got the San Diego Seals. Get your tickets now at sealslax.com. And Padilla Law Group, San Diego's father-son injury law firm. Visit PadillaLawGroup.com. Big thanks to everyone supporting the program, the Tier 1s, and the Christmas and Holiday Extravaganza, which is coming up on Wednesday.
Cannot wait to get it underway, my friend. Lots of surprises in store. Lots.
And then I know everyone's mad that we go dark, but it really is a very short break for us this year.
Yeah, it is.
We'll be off Thursday and Friday next week. And then everyone's got, Christmas is Monday, so that week's pretty much a lost cause for everybody. We'll be off that week, off New Year's Day, which is the Monday the 1st, and then we're back on the 2nd.
Back on Tuesday.
Right back on that Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it's a shorter break than last year. We'll be right back getting ready. And at that point, it'll be a month away from spring training. We got fantasy camp coming out, going out to Arizona in January. We'll be right into it, hit the ground running in 2024.
100%. Cannot wait.
Looking
And you will
forward to
be
all
going to fantasy camp to
I
hang
am
with
now,
us.
Yes, I've got the time off. I am authorized. I will be there with you.
They've added Greg Nettles to the fantasy camp.
Greg Nettles, yeah.
Not Greg. Greg Nettles will be joining us. I want to ask him about his fight that he had at third base with...
I don't remember this.
Who was it?
Was this with the Padres or Yankees?
I think it was with the Yankees in the playoffs. Was it? I can't remember, but he got in a fist fight at third. Guy slid in hard. Was it not Pete Rose? No.
Greg Nettles kicks George Brett.
George Brett
punches
that's it.
Nettles.
Yes, the fight with George Brett. I'm 100%
YouTube video.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Interesting.
Really, you don't.
1977 ALCS.
Yeah.
I don't remember that
a
one.
fist fight.
I was two.
A fist. Well, I'm surprised you were probably parked in front of the TV watching
I
it.
was one. I
Let's
wasn't
be
even
honest.
two yet.
A fight in a
2-year-old Ben just screaming about run differential.
But a fight in the ALCS, like a full-scale brawl, is insane. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. Got a bunch of guys coming out. Going to have, all as usual, all the great baseball stories. And can't wait, man. Can't wait for the new year. But I also am ready for the vacation.
And I'm also ready for the Roundel Report. Let's get to it. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Roundel Report.
Now tuned into the greatest. Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Got a story here in the NBA. Former San Diego State Aztec that apparently Woodsy just hated.
Which I didn't. I was a big fan of Nathan Mensa's.
Congratulations to Nathan Mensah, a dominant force for the Aztecs on their run to national runners-up
Very
last year.
much missed. Very
Always.
much missed.
This Aztecs basketball team always has that guy. That guy in the paint that when he leaves, you miss him and you're just kind of waiting for the next guy. And I think we're still kind of waiting to see who that's going to be, the defensive force. But Nathan Mensah, he's been playing in the G League with the Greensboro Swarm. And in 14 games, he had averaged 10.3 points, almost 9 rebounds, and 1 assist and 2 blocks per game. And he has just been called up to the Charlotte Hornets on a 2-way contract. They've had some injuries there in Charlotte, and so they're bringing up the former Aztec.
So the 2-way deal is, explain it to me, Benjamin.
So it simply means 2 ways means you get paid. When you get in the NBA, you get paid like an NBA player. And then when you go back to the G League, you get paid like a G League player. It's good for the NBA teams. They call a guy up, and when a guy gets called up, it's double good news. Not only am I coming to the NBA, but I'm getting a huge salary. Now, 1-way contracts, like, you just get paid what you get paid. That's the contract. It's an NBA contract. Whether you're on the team or not, you get paid. 2 ways, you're still proving yourself when you're on a 2-way contract. As he is. I mean, first year, trying to make his way into the league. And, he'll be that defensive force that they need.
7-15
Big body.
Charlotte Hornets right now. So, yeah, get some PT, see what he can do. Good for him.
Did now Michael Jordan officially sold the team?
Yeah, I think he's
still
out,
in the process. He's completely out.
I think he's done, right?
I don't know if it's, I guess, officially final.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
He's on the way out if he's not already
Dude is
out.
living at his golf course in Florida, which is the coolest place I've
But
ever seen.
what's this? It's called. It's the Roman numeral for
23.
23.
Yeah.
It's like Club XXII or something like that.
It looks ridiculous.
He tried the executive thing. It didn't work out ever.
Sold his majority
dollars.
He sold his majority stake in August, and he still has a minority share in ownership of the team.
Just go live your life.
100, dude. Yes, just go play golf, and they're not going to be like you, man. They're not going to be like you are. He's a terrible, terrible, terrible owner. You can't have an owner like him. You just can't. It's not going to work.
All right, that's it for the sports. Up next, a very popular website that I know everybody in here uses occasionally, released some data for the first half of the 2023 year. So Netflix released all of their user data, and they have the viewing hours for the most watched shows of the year, at least the first 6 months.
So you went with the Netflix option here, as opposed to the other option that was out available.
The other
one we talked about this morning. The other website that we probably all use occasionally. That one.
I got that list too.
Ben, your thoughts?
The one that rhymes with corn tub? Oh, my God.
Yes, that one was. Those were available as well.
I mean, we can get to those too if you want.
Corn tub.
Corntub.com.
Yeah, what's on there?
I saw that. It looked that list looked fake to me. That was fake.
There is no corntub.com.
That's too bad.
I can find. I don't know where to go now.
Matt says, "Honey, leave me alone. I'm browsing corn tub."
No, he says corn hub.
Corn hub.
Just different ears of corn.
Different genres.
Here's an older ear of corn.
Those mazes that have all the different, like the blue
different,
and yellow
yeah.
together, those are fascinating to me.
Yeah.
How do they get the corn to grow different colors? How does it know what color it's going to be when it starts growing?
Here's lots of
You've got
corn
the red
on a
corns and the blue corns. I think there's black corn even.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You can find it all at cornhub.com.
It's BBC.
Yeah. Big barreled corn.
So we're doing Netflix or the other website?
Let's do
here?
both. Go ahead. What's on Netflix?
Well, somebody else will have to tell me because I've never heard of any of these shows.
It's not a rundown of all the shows that Craig recommended for us all year long.
We
The
have
top
had
viewed streamers of the year.
We've had Craig Elston on our show every single Friday, the entire year, minus maybe a couple of weeks. And he gives us a streaming recommendation. Now, he talks about Netflix, Hulu, Max, all of them. I've never heard him talk about any of these shows. Number one, the most viewed show on Netflix with 812 million viewing hours. It's The Night Agent, season 1 of The Night Agent.
I have no idea what that is.
No idea.
Sorry to do this to you guys, but it's breaking news.
Again? Did Yamamoto just sign with the Royals?
No. It's
Where's
the
Blake Snell going to the Royals
from the
for?
Los Angeles Chargers. They've parted ways with head coach Brandon Staley and general manager Tom Telesco. Breaking news.
Dean was very embarrassed last night, sitting there in the luxury box on camera during that.
And you pack your ass. You're out of here.
I'm surprised he let him back on the plane.
Oh my
honestly.
God!
Didn't
All
fire
right.
Didn't fire John Spanos, interestingly enough, who was also their
wild.
really personnel director.
All right, let's
But
just
they
go
kept
down.
Tom
We'll go down the
Telesco.
list.
Go down the list of
number
of
one was
Netflix.
The Night Agent, 812 million.
Never heard of it.
Viewing hours. Just tell me if you've heard of these shows. Number 2, Ginny and Georgia, season 2.
Ginny and Georgia. What do we think that's about?
No idea.
I don't
Couple
know.
of gals out on the town making their way.
The
in
Glory.
Manhattan or something.
Season 1 of The Glory. Number
These
7.
also could be
The Glory.
Blank Hub.
It's,
Corn Tub.
It's
Corn
about
Tub.
Betsy Ross stitching the first flag in
Nope.
her story.
No idea. Never heard
The
of it.
Glory.
Number 4 was Wednesday. I've seen previews of that.
Wednesday.
That's
Is it just called Wednesday?
I think that's the Wednesday Addams.
Oh, yeah, like the Addams Family
show.
Wednesday, like the story just about her.
Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story.
Never heard of it.
503.
Bridgerton, I think I've heard of. Queen Charlotte, nothing.
I saw season 1
Hugh
of
Darvish
You.
has his own show. That's fantastic.
Sports Robot.
That's a creepy show, and it's season 4 this year, had 440 million viewing hours.
Okay.
Lorena Del Sur, season 3. No, Outer Banks, season
I've heard of
3.
the Outer Banks. That's a sci-fi show, right? I think. Or is that an Alaska show?
It's about
Or is
fishing,
that
I think.
Is that a North Carolina coast show? I'm not sure.
Number 9 was Ginny and Georgia, season 1, and Fubar, season 1.
I know what that stands for. That's a military acronym. You know what that stands for?
Yeah, you can't say it on the radio.
Well, you can say the last 4 letters.
F word.
Up beyond
all
recognition.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. We all saw Tango and Cash.
I did not see Tango and Cash.
That was dumb of me to assume, actually, that you saw Tango.
Who were Tango and Cash? Mel Gibson?
No,
and-
it was
that
Kurt
Lethal
Russell
Weapon.
and
I get Kurt Russell and Mel Gibson confused
Yeah.
sometimes.
fair enough. Tango and Cash was
Sylvester
and,
Stallone.
Sly.
Right, yeah.
Great
Okay.
movie. Do the other ones.
Corn Hub.
Ben actually is the one that read them out to us this morning.
Yes, this was Ben's idea.
I was skeptical of it.
So-
the interests of our country
That website
seemed a little random for me.
Okay.
That website, every year around this time, they put out their year in review.
Sure.
Before you get to the videos, they said that according to the people that were polled, the average amount of time that it takes to do what you do
Cycle through.
when you watch those videos
Right.
is 9 minutes and 51 seconds. About 10 minutes.
Disagree.
Okay.
It's too many options.
91% of all videos on Corn Tub were watched on phones this year.
True. It's very the laptop bit.
Weird.
It's very
Weird.
Certainly not streaming it to the living
Casting
room
it to the-
television.
Casting it to the giant 80-inch TV.
Your wife's in the living room, like, oh crap, oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm sorry.
Give me some of the most certain. What was
the most
California?
I don't have it in front of me.
You had
anymore.
it this
I
morning.
did, but I didn't believe it.
He's the one that came to the table with his story.
It was in my Twitter feed. I looked at it skeptically.
I don't even
going,
want to say
people
something.
aren't into
Well,
these things.
be
They're
careful.
people are not into these things.
Please be careful, Paulie. Adam
What's the
is-
most innocuous one? that
Adam
you can
is.
find?
What was California's?
What's the innocuous?
California's was
All right, if it's too.
stepmom, but
get it.
a certain race, stepmoms.
Okay, I don't get it.
Arizona was car sex. Pennsylvania just says
Pennsylvania says what?
just says big boobies.
Boobies, by the way. Come on.
I swear to God.
What was Texas's again, Ben?
Texas is. Oh, you can say it, Ben.
I don't have it in front of me. I didn't even know what some of the words meant on the list.
If you give me a second, I can actually have Ben saying it.
Creepy.
Yeah, creamy. Favorite hour to watch the website?
11 a.m.
11 p.m.
Oh, sorry. We have different schedules.
Oregon is into nudists.
Isn't that what the whole website is? If you're
they got
half
coffee.
to be into
Wyoming.
nudists?
Here's a weird one. Wyoming, goth.
Ooh,
Goff.
big fan.
In Wyoming. In Wyoming, though?
Big fan. Huge fan.
That cowboy hat or
Indiana.
lasso?
The word on the state of Indiana just says
corn.
Chubby.
Chubby. I really like the big boobies.
North Carolina.
Think of
bubble
all those
butt.
Pennsylvanians.
What's Utah?
Utah is Mormon.
Deviants. You're all deviants.
Ben asked what a thruple was earlier.
He did.
No idea.
A thruple.
It's like
A thruple
if you're
would
in a
be nice.
you're in a committed
Yeah, a thruple would be
relationship
nice.
with two other people.
Right. You're
Not
in
like a side piece. Like in a committed relationship, all three people are in a committed relationship with each other. That's a thruple, I believe.
So Utah.
Yep. Hence the search, I think.
Now,
But
So that was Maine, I think, was
considering the
thruple.
website and the graphicness that you can find on there,
Sure.
West Virginia's was just nip slip.
just one of these will get you.
Just
That's
saw
all they
one up,
need.
just happened on our
And
YouTube
maybe
stream.
the absolute weirdest is the state of Minnesota. It just says tickling.
Weird.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Adam just wrecked his car, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, we've got some Seals tickets to give away in our next segment, and then our look back to the month of August as we continue our 2023 year in review here on Ben and Woods. This hour of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Smart and Final. This holiday season, shop groceries and baking needs in one trip, and that's it at Smart and Final. We're back after Vicky's traffic on 97.3 The Fan. It's a nice ear of corn picture you just tweeted out. Woods?
Did you just talk over Black Betty? You did, man.
Shoot, my bad.
That's you're gonna have to get a lashing. You know better.
I literally said, you know the rule.
It's like one rule.
I do, and I didn't even realize it was
Man.
Black Betty. I was
It's all right. It's Friday.
Distracted on a Friday, late on a Friday especially. Paulie threw it in late just to trip me up. This was Monday morning at 7 a.m. I'm fine.
Locked in.
I'm fine.
Locked in.
Let's see. A lot of reaction to the Chargers firing of Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco this morning. Mike Freeman, Chargers wasted some of Justin Herbert's prime years on a coach who everyone knew was in over his head. Ryan Phillips from the big lead, unless they fire John Spanos. Nothing will change. The Chargers stay the Chargers. Did they even name an interim head coach yet? Who's taking over? Is it going to be...
I have not seen yet.
Is it
going to
be
really care? But
Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator? Not that the offense has done anything particularly good either lately. I don't think they have any exciting choices, but that's the big breaking NFL story this morning. The Los Angeles Chargers have fired both Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley after yesterday's humiliating, and I don't use that word lightly.
No, that was
I use it
42
enthusiastically, but I wouldn't just say humiliating if it was just a regular old loss.
Right, losing by 14 or something.
Yeah,
That's a 42-point loss
That
yesterday.
was humiliating national television performance against the Las Vegas Raiders last night.
Interesting. I really like the Raiders.
They say an interim head coach and general manager will be announced within short order.
I really like the Raiders head coach. I think they did a nice job.
Will they keep him, though?
I know,
Remember
that's
the
the
last
thing.
time they had Rich Bisaccia as their interim coach, got him to the playoffs. They let him go anyway. They went the wrong direction. They hired, Josh McDaniels. Now they've got Antonio Pierce. Seems to have injected a little bit of life. I mean, they did lose a 3-0 game 5 days ago, which isn't that lively, but
true.
Some good things that they've seen. Will Mark Davis keep him around for another year on a real contract, or are they going to go shopping again for the next sexy name as a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, you're already seeing reports of Bill Belichick to the Chargers, which just seems like an odd fit.
I'll tell you why that's not going to happen. Would Bill Belichick really want to finish out his career? Because he's not, this is it for Bill Belichick. He's already 71.
The last gig.
His last gig. Whatever the next gig is, if he gets a next gig, it's the last gig. You really want it to be with that organization?
Yeah, I mean, the allure of Justin Herbert's probably great for him.
Sure.
But other than that.
But the rest of the organization has been a nightmare for years now.
But
then, will the Chargers have never gone after a big-name head coach that they have to cede all control and responsibility
Which
to?
he would
They've
100% want.
Never done that. The last time, the closest they ever came was Marty Schottenheimer, and they couldn't get along with Marty Schottenheimer. Bill Belichick is Marty Schottenheimer times a million when it comes to the control, issues that he wants to have. So it doesn't seem like it's a fit. The only reason you'd think that they might do it is because they've had so little success, and most teams, when they do that, like to go in different directions. But the Chargers never do. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Hire a hot offensive or defensive coordinator that had like one good season, and we'll try it again. We did it with Mike McCoy. We did it with Anthony Lynn. Now we're going to do it with Brandon Staley. That's what they're speaking in their voice.
Yeah. Christopher tweets, very confused by Charger haters laughing about them firing Staley and Telesco. Them retaining both would be
Much better.
No, much better.
I totally agree with
100%.
that.
But you do certainly like the chaos, right? If you're one of the folks that don't root for the Chargers anymore and actively root against them.
It's a glaring admission by the team that
we screwed up
again.
That's exactly right. So, it's like I said before, DR forever in L.A. Forever.
If you missed the other baseball news earlier this morning, Michael Wacha signed a 2-year, $32 million contract with the Kansas City Royals. So Padres drop another member of their starting rotation from this past season. That, of course, a significant number because that's exactly what the Padres could have picked up Wacha for on his player or his team option if they wanted to bring him back. It would have locked in 2 years, $16 million per year, so $32 million. The Padres chose not to do that, and the Kansas City Royals voluntarily chose to do exactly that.
Exactly the deal.
It's hard not to create a narrative around that that particular set of circumstances that we've just seen.
No question about it, Benny. Also, another note from Ken Rosenthal. I was unaware of this. I think everybody was. Max Scherzer had surgery on his back for a herniated disc yesterday. Rangers GM Chris Young told the team's beat writers expected to be out until June or July. They're projecting DeGrom to return after the All-Star break. Same with the new guy, Tyler Mahle, that they signed. They're still in potentially on one Clayton Kershaw to help eat some innings early in the season.
Interesting quote from Scherzer. Said, after returning to my off-season home in Florida, my discomfort in my back continued to get worse. During this time, I received a diagnosis of a herniated disc. After several conservative treatments and consulting with multiple specialists, I made the decision to have the recommended surgery. Getting this procedure done now will give me the best chance to pitch as much as possible for the Rangers in 2024. Look forward to putting in the rehab work, getting back on the mound next summer. So he will now can drop hints like Aaron Rodgers for months about when he might be coming back from his surgery.
I mean, it's an aging rotation that they have in Max Scherzer and waiting on Jacob deGrom, and now you're basically got three guys coming off of injury that you're expecting to help. If they can kind of weather the storm early in the season next year, they got Evaldi, they got some guys that are horses. I think losing Jordan Montgomery was really going to hurt them. And he's, again, another Boris guy. Going to be interesting to see what he commands. None of these Boris guys have really gone off the table yet, right? Like the big name Scott Boris guy?
He's definitely more willing to wait it out than other agents are. He's more willing to play the longer game, be patient.
He has no problem waiting until spring training starts.
Yeah, and in fact, I think he kind of revels in it because at that point, it's only his clients that are left, which gives him center stage, which is what he does. And I'm not going to say it's the wrong strategy. He does well for his clients.
Like 99% of the time.
It's a stressful strategy. And I'd imagine Boris clients, that's something that is the hardest part. Knowing, like if you're Juan Soto right now and going, I could have a ton of money and not worry about it ever again. But now I got to play another entire season in New York and make sure I don't get hurt and everything. He puts a lot of stress on his clients and then ends up getting a lot of money for his clients. But Blake Snell, doubt he's the kind of guy who's going to revel in an entire offseason of not knowing where he's going and waiting on the biggest deal to the last second.
I wonder if he cares. He's a pretty chill guy. I mean, he's playing his video games. I see him every day on Instagram. Like, I don't think he's stressing it much. He knows he's going to make money. Like, he knows somebody's going to want him. But it does boil down to, well, who can afford you and where do you want to go? Somebody may pony up at the last minute. And you're like, I got to pitch there. I didn't really want to pitch there.
There's a reason why not every baseball player goes with Scott Boras.
Dude, that's exactly right. I mean, if it was just about max value all the time, I think you go for Scott Boras.
He'd have like 80% of the league would be his. If it was, he does the best. He gets the most for his clients generally, but there's a cost to that, and it is stress and security and comfortability sometimes.
Nick Martinez switched to Scott Boras, did he not? And then signed way early with the Cincinnati Reds. So it's like,
I mean, ultimately the player is in charge. Even if Scott Boras is your agent, Scott Boras has to say, if that guy goes, I want this, make it happen. It's still his job to make it happen.
I've tried that with our agent. It doesn't work. I've done that over and over.
Scott's going, Nick, I got all kinds of puns worked out. We're gonna get you way more than this. You don't want to sign yet.
Save the puns. We're on to Cincinnati. That's where I want to be.
Fine. All right. We'll come back. Our next look back, we take it back to August of this year. A nice visit from Taylor and Bo Woods into the studio. And
remember when I scared our entire audience into thinking we were done?
Woods put the fear of God into everybody. All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Bubbling everywhere, but America's finest city.
It's not
Benjamin.
bubbling everywhere.
I know. You know what I mean.
But it is bubbling other places.
We have the jar out of the jar of sauce, and it's out of the pantry, and it's sitting on the counter waiting to be poured into the saucepan to crank the stove up and get it going, but nothing yet.
Make your own sauce next time.
I would love to. I've never tried to make my own sauce.
Some San Marzano tomatoes, fresh, some fresh herbs in there.
But if you watch Goodfellas and you see how they do it, I'm not gonna. You have to leave a
all day
pork shank in there and veal parts,
Sunday
and
sauce,
make meatballs.
Yeah. Really
and,
nice.
What is it? 14-hour process.
Tommy DeVito is not opening a jar on the counter. I mean, just heating it up.
I will absolutely do that.
You're not Tommy DeVito.
No, just a nice glass.
You are, however, the public address announcer for the San Diego Seals.
I am.
And
very proud to be.
They got another home game coming up later this month. We got some tickets to give away right now. A pair of tickets to the Seals Rochester Nighthawks game at Pechanga Arena on December 29th. Be the fifth caller right now at 833-288-0973. Fifth caller, 833-288-0973. You can win yours, or you can get your own for the rest of the fam at SealsLAX.com. We're going to check traffic, and then we get a couple more clips on our 2023 look back as we head back to the month of August and our contract extension announcement that Woods pulled a little bait and switch on everybody.
Little fast one.
Coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicki Pepper.
125 south at Worthington, an earlier injury accident in the clearing stages. You're still recovering from the 54. I'm Vicki Pepper with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that we started kind of getting people ready for our decision in the middle of the year because our contract was coming out.
We pulled a Shohei Ohtani a little bit, right? Just kind of letting people know. Yeah, before he did. Just kind of letting people know, the deal is expiring at the end of this year. And obviously, in this business, when
We're mostly just letting our bosses know. Hey, just a reminder, guys.
just a reminder, yeah. And there's a little bit of performance to it, certainly. But no, I mean, when the show's going well and the deal's coming up, you never know what's going to happen in this business from day to day, certainly. So we definitely had a little fun, and we signed our contract earlier than, maybe we even should have, based on how
We're no Scott Boras
No,
clients.
we are not Scott Boras clients.
You idiots.
Yeah, morons. But we ended up signing a 3-year extension to stay here at 97.3 The Fan. So I decided, let's have a little fun with our audience. As you guys know, our contract is expiring at the end of this year, December 31st. And a few months ago, they came to us and said they were interested in talking about an extension.
Always flattery.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And, the station's been doing great, number one station. The show itself has been doing great. So they sat down, Ben and I have an agent. It's the same agent, our agent Brad, and started doing some talks with the higher-ups here. And we try to keep out of it. I always say every time I'm going to stay out of it, and I never do. We hit a snag in this one. It was a big snag. And he's more than a snag. It's Paulie. Paulie was the snag. And so, Ben and I mean, the name of the show is Ben and Woods, but it might as well be Ben Woods and Paul. As we started going through the negotiations, it became more and more evident that things were not going to be necessarily fair and even. And that's something that was important to me and important to Ben. And so we made our pitches. We went in. I did about an hour-long meeting with our bosses and talked to them and just told them that, this is how it had to be. And he thanked me for my time, and I went on my way. And, the offers came in, and the reason we wanted to call you guys here today is to let all of you guys know.
Paulie, we are going to miss you. Badly.
We're done.
No, just kidding.
We're done. Bulldozer, Ben. With this contract. We have a new contract. All three of us. For 3 more years. Gotcha. Everybody been adequately taken care of. And we are not going anywheres. We are going to be right here every day. I'll be here. Ben will be here. And Paul will be here. And Paul getting some of the...
Except when I'm on vacation.
Right. Well, then it'll just be me and Paul.
Which is often.
Yes.
The fact that we get to stay together, the three of us, to do our thing for you guys every single day, I'm emotional about it because it means so much to me. Damn, I'm going to get emotional again, hearing myself get emotional. It really does. I take it so to heart to be able to do this every day for you guys and with you guys. So I'm super, super. We don't have to play this, Paulie. I don't want to hear it again.
You're staying.
Make myself cry.
That we're staying, and it's amazing.
It was an incredibly difficult.
Once again, remain cold-hearted in the face of your overwrought emotion.
He says, "We're going to miss you, Paulie."
Like, we were announcing that we'll be continuing to do exactly what we've been doing for 5 years, for 3 more years.
Yeah, but not if they didn't make it right
True.
with Paulie,
But
that was my stance.
But you already knew what we had already decided. This wasn't a surprise
in
to
his
you.
mind, he had something. He had a way he wanted to do it, and Ben just comes.
You acted like this was some big surprise to you as well.
No, it just
we're done. No, just kidding.
All of you guys know,
Paulie, we are going to miss you.
It's like, shut
Shut up!
Let me get to the punchline.
In 3 years, when I try this bit again, just turn his mic completely off. I'll just do it.
We all had so many texts after that segment was over.
Like,
I had people like, I was ready to vomit. I
Yeah.
thought you guys were getting up and walking out of the studio that day.
It was great.
Oh,
It was fun.
man.
I was proud of that segment. Very proud. I don't mean to get emotional. I'm just an emotional guy. But yeah, no, that when it came down to it, it was like, oh, cool, we get to continue to do this great gig. at this great station, for our great boss Adam, our great boss Michael, who made it all possible. And
man, as much as
a dream
bit as it was, like we kind of knew we wanted to do a little theater of the mind there. Like, don't be mistaken, it got dicey.
Jesus, dude, dicey is not even the right word.
It was incredibly unknown what was going to happen.
No question about it. No, I had a lot of fun with that one. We really domed some people out.
We get it. You love work. You love us. You love the people here. Yeah. You love your kids
the Chargers.
too. I know you do. You love your kids.
Fine.
I love the Padres and the Aztecs and scores and highlights.
Scores.
How'd you see, Ben? There was a scoregami last night.
I did see that.
If you mentioned that
63 to 21.
Did you see our pal Andrew Keats tweet a couple of weeks ago? Hey, can we stop pretending that scorigamis are interesting, because they're not? And I go, you know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. It's maybe the most uninteresting thing in sports. Really. He goes, let's stop pretending that this is so interesting.
Think it's kind of fascinating?
No, I don't think it's fascinating.
Like thousands and thousands of games, and none of them have ended in that exact final score.
No, it's the least interesting thing to me.
Our brains work differently.
On the planet. On the planet.
The one thing I can agree on with you, your kids are unbelievably adorable.
They are great, man.
And
great kids.
Later in August, they were kind of in between their summer vacations and their school starting, and you needed to bring him in for a morning for whatever reason.
Yes.
I got to bring my kids to work. Because Hannah can't watch him, and we don't have anyone else. So
I think Hannah was in New York.
They're coming to work with me today.
Hannah was in New York watching the Yankees Padres series with her mom.
Outside with their iPads and their toys and snacks all over the floor in here. Probably driving JR crazy.
That was in May. This was a different.
This was a different one.
We had him in twice during the baseball season. I think the Hannah in New York was in May. This was in August. I'm not exactly. I think you're taking him up to LA.
I was taking him up to Laguna.
That's what it was.
Right.
Yep.
A little boys' vacation.
But anyway, we let Taylor take over Paul's job for a
rite
few
of
minutes.
passage.
Yeah.
Taylor, you want to come over here and take my job? You want to press some buttons?
Oh, Bo did that before.
Go over there to Uncle Paulie.
Got the soundboard going.
That was all-time classic.
Here he comes.
You never know what's going to come up when one of the Woods kids takes over Paul's soundboard here.
You need to put on your headphones. Put them up. Can you hear it?
Can you hear me, Taylor? Hello, Taylor.
You hear that?
Can you hear me?
Take this right here.
Real quick. Give me a do damage.
Do damage.
Turn Jay Cronenworth's season around.
Save that one, then Paulie.
That was you.
He's dying right now.
That was you.
Do it again. Do something else.
I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
No.
Cause I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
What was that one?
I don't know.
Turkish bath towels.
Oh, from the Turkish bath towels.
I want to hear.
Oh, we're into the boings and kind of sounds now.
Look at his face.
Oh, hey. What was that?
Play that one again.
Nuts.
Oh, it killed me, dude. That's one of my favorite moments.
Oh, that's so fun.
Hey.
All right. Before we get in any trouble,
God, that's so good.
let's take one last time out. Come back, final set. Get you ready for the rest of the day.
It's elite content from the boys, man.
God,
Holy cow, dude.
Enjoy it now, because in a couple of years they'll move out of the cute stage.
Oh, yeah.
Into the defiant stage.
Well,
you already have
a
defiant
little
young children, don't you?
They're pretty defiant. Yeah, they are. But they're still very, very sweet and cuddly for the most part. But, man, that was so much fun.
Look at his face.
Oh, hey, what was that laugh?
Everyone loves to laugh.
Play that one again.
You feel like you're tickle torturing him.
Nuts.
Made my day, dude. Made my day. Oh, man. Oh, thank you guys for indulging me that day. It just was incredible.
All right, we've got a lot of work to do in the next few days.
We
Getting
do.
ready for the Christmas and holiday extravaganza. Just 2 more normal shows, quote unquote, normal programs remaining on Monday and Tuesday, and then the major wrap up of the entire year on our holiday and Christmas extravaganza on Wednesday, and then that's it for our 2023. It's almost done. So we still have September, October, November, December for our look backs on Monday and Tuesday to wrap up the year.
Yeah, we'll have lots of surprises the day of the Christmas and holiday extravaganza. Still working on some stuff behind the scenes. They're always fun.
That's going to be a show. We don't care how you consume our product, as long as you consume the product.
Sure.
Whether it's the radio, the app, YouTube, Twitch,
You
or
wanna-
YouTube, 97.3, whatever.
You want to watch this
This one you might want to try to make your way to YouTube, Twitch. We're on Twitter as well. with
By
a
the way,
live
it's
stream.
absolutely free. I know we have some great members who actually do subscribe, and we thank you for that, and we got some member bonuses. But you want to just come in for a day, even if you're a regular radio
Yeah, just
listener,
watch.
you can watch. It's absolutely free on YouTube as well.
Now, Ben doesn't know this. He'll be doing the whole show nude that day. No, in just edible underwear that day. And the audience will take bites out of your underwear throughout the show.
Is that what was most widely searched to Ben, edible
I
underwear?
didn't see edible underwear as a category.
Can I just say
Corn
that since we talked about it earlier in the program, I tried to order some. But it will not be here in time. And I can't risk it. If it comes to my house after the date of the extravaganza, then I have edible underwear in my home.
I'm sure there's a store locally.
I am
that
going
you
to
can find
Costco later. I will check and see if they have some.
I don't know that Costco would have it. I was thinking more like
sized box of edible underwear.
Dan
for you.
says after the last 2 shows, I have a hard time remembering you guys do a normal show. It's a very fair point you make, Dan.
All right, last couple of minutes of the week. Let's finish up with some flubs, shall we?
Browns, Bengals, Ravens, 3-2-2 teams in
Who are
that
the
division.
Ravens?
Ballast Point Beer, the official craft beer of the San Diego Padres, at Ballast Point in Little India.
He's not 35.
But he will
picture
be before the contract is done.
What is a contract?
Holiday season is almost here.
30 days, half September.
And that is do this for a Wednesday.
Don't.
That was back after checking traffic on 97.3 FAM. He's got the 5th most wins coaching time, all-time coaching. Fifth most, yes. February 12th, State Farm Stadium in Glendale,
State what?
Arizona. State Farm Stadium.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I heard either.
Our first sound from Padres Spring Training 2013.
Here we go.
I think when a veteran pitcher is having success with those numbers, 6-year history of Major League Rugby.
What is Rubgy?
Sam Spring San Diego's #1 sports station, 93 The Fan.
We were just talking about Landon Jonovan.
Who is Landon Jonovan?
All right, back after a check of traffic here on 91.37 The Fan. Almost the entire 97.3 The Crew is coming out.
And then, of course, Joe Darvish and the kettlebell on the toe. Paul Reindl is our executive producer, YouTube director.
What's the director?
He's the director.
The Sockers, they haven't lost a season all home, so we need you out there.
Greg Elston will join us with some streaming television. In which Grammy-winning Beatles song does Paul McCartney sing about the words that go together well? He was our man on the scene in the Beast of the Belly, Dodger Stadium, on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan
What is
hotline.
Carlsbad?
Are you okay?
What is happening right now?
If you like brisket and you're not going to Grand Ole Barbecue, you're doing it wrong in North Park, at Flynn Springs, and out at the ballpark. North Park. 97.3 The Fan.
Paul's got some really good audio coming up in the Roundel Report as well from Gabe Kapler, manager of the Giants, that you won't want to stay tuned for.
Sits down and talks to the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, Peter Angelos.
The Baltimore what?
What Orioles? What'd I say?
To wrap up our 90s country theme for the week. Seem to enjoy playing for Bob Melvin.
Bob Melvin. Who is Bob Meller?
And the Padres tie up this series in San Francisco.
What did we win? We won something. Here we go. Here it is.
Good job, Woodsy.
Good job. Who?
Woodsy. The Baseball Writers Association. Try that again.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, Woody. Woody? Hey, Woody. What's up, Woody? Hey, good job, Woody.
You did a really good job this week.
Good job, Woody. He was trying to get me. He was trying to get me. All right, we're out of here.
We are. Got Coach Braden coming up next. We will be back Monday morning, last week of our year. Just a short one as well. We will talk to you then. For our executive producer and imaging director, Paul Reinl.
Good job, Ben.
For Stephen Woodsy, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend and a great rest of your Friday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Long.